K on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Play fake, Sorsby to throw on first down, throws downfield, and it's tipped and intercepted. The Wildcats with the ball the other way, down to the 25-yard line, and Arizona will take over. What a great start. And I believe that was Javion Cole who made the pick.
It was Javion Cole, and right away Arizona was in kind of a zone defense. He threw the ball up in the air, got batted, and Javion Cole came down with it. A huge start for Arizona.
Yeah, if anybody's looking forward to seeing Brendan Sorsby play football this season, it might be Javion Cole, returning cornerback for your Arizona Wildcats, who picked off with I think it was, I forget who tipped that ball. That ball was tipped to Javion, but first play of the game in Cincinnati. In that game that the Wildcats, that record-setting win on the road, where Noah Fafita became the all-time touchdown passing leader in school history. And the U of A defense put the clamps on Brendan Sorsby, forcing him into 2 picks in that game in winning on the road. So if anybody's looking forward to seeing Brendan Sorsby, it might be the Wildcats defense, because they've had a lot of success against him. Everyone else, nobody wants to play Texas Tech. How about this? I mean, the fallout from a local court, and when I say local court, that's a local court in Lubbock, Texas. The fallout from them striking down the NCAA's ruling or banning of Brendan Sorsby from college football in 2026 is really starting to mount. Big 12, Brett Yormark, the commissioner, met with the ADs today over this matter. When you've got ADs convening, and we talked about this yesterday because Brent said we're going to talk about it in the next couple of days. We're going to get all the people necessary that we need to get together to talk about this in the next couple of days. When you've got ADs starting to convene meetings with athletic directors, and you've got some ADs just flat coming out and saying, I've told my coaches not to schedule Texas Tech. Again, what I love about this is what we commonly say. This is the players policing the players. I love it. This is the schools policing other schools. Because we can sit here and we can cry about Congress and the senators, Senator Cantwell and Senator what's his name from Texas? What is his name? Ted Cruz. Thank you, Senator Cruz. We can scream all we want about them doing something, but where things really start to get done is when the players police the players, when the schools police the schools, when the conferences. We always talk about states' rights. The states should have the rights. We don't want the federal government involved in the states. The states should have the rights. We always talk about that. A lot of people scream and yell about that. Well, the schools, the conferences should have the rights. The conferences and Brett Yormark and the Big 12 and the SEC should have the rights to tell their schools, you can't do this. We don't agree with this. You need to make this right, or there are going to be sanctions. And that's where this is building to right now.
The problem is 12 years ago, North Carolina, you might have heard, had a little bit of an issue where 42% of their athletes never attended class and all of their papers were written for them. And that was a huge scandal. And then a few years back, you might remember Michigan was filming practice time of their opponents on the football field so they could have an advanced scout.
Right.
Nobody decided they wouldn't play Michigan in any sport. Nobody, as a result, decided that the Tar Heels would no longer be on their schedule in women's volleyball. The problem here is, in addition to NIL and the transfer portal in the last 4 or 5 years, the other giant increase we've seen, Dragon Ball, is betting apps and futures apps. And the issue being betting on sports when you're involved with that sport and on that team is a no-go situation for so many fans, because fans spend money to go to games. They spend money on jerseys. They got pennants up at their house. We are a Pittsburgh Steelers house. It doesn't matter what you support, what professional franchise or college university that you support. When it comes to students in college with their millions of dollars in NIL money, betting on apps on their own team in games that they are in, that's a line that these universities are drawing right now, DK. That's why you're hearing all this backlash for the last 24 hours. Just for the timeline, for people who don't understand it, Sorsby was a quarterback on the bench, third stringer at Indiana, bet on some games when he was there, also bet on some games when he was with Cincinnati. None of this information came out until he had already gotten to the portal, went to Texas Tech, and was enrolled in Texas Tech. So none of this information was known 3 or 4 years ago. It's all come up in the last 3 or 4 months. Now that that information did come out, the NCAA banned him. Texas Tech, as a result of that ban, gave him a 2-game suspension. And then this judge, just 2 days ago, DK, declared that he would be eligible. So the backlash from all these different universities, all these different conferences, Big Ten's talking maybe don't schedule Texas Tech at all in the future in any sport, is a result of gambling on sports when you're in it. Headache Smith style, DK, for those who remember the ASU issues back in the mid 80s.
Headache Smith. Yeah,
so it's really just about gambling, and a player being involved in gambling while he's on the playing field is clearly because North Carolina and Michigan didn't get the same treatment, Dragon Ball.
No, and I want to go ahead and also state another thing based on what you presented there, J-Dub, because this is also, I think, another thing that's maybe getting lost in the shuffle with all of it. We mentioned how Michigan was recording opponent teams and they weren't punished. I mean, shoot, professional teams do that nowadays and they don't get punished for it. So what was that going to eventually cause? And students not going to class, hey, students don't go to class in college all across the country, whether they're athletes or not. It just happened of sometimes certain students get caught with it, certain students don't. But the 2 universities you mentioned, the first being University of North Carolina, the second being University of Michigan. DK, I would almost be willing to say, I wouldn't say I want to bet because then it feels like I'm going against the entire point of this argument, but I'm almost willing to say that if it weren't for the fact that this was Texas Tech doing it, that if it was, say, a USC, if it was, in terms of football,
let's just go with Austin. It's a huge school, and they are great in every sport. Sure.
If it was Texas for their football program,
wouldn't get the same treatment.
If it was Alabama, if it was any of these other blue blood football programs, we probably wouldn't even be discussing it. Because
I doubt that. I disagree with that.
For me, I view it as such a thing because this is the situation where we're trying to do the signal calling. We're trying to go ahead and say we want to go ahead and protect these young people from the vices of gambling, even though we are in the pocket of almost every single one of them that we can possibly have. So the fact that it's Texas Tech, who has recently had a huge influx of NIL money,
well, that's the thing,
has become a new major stay for college athletes across the country, saying, hey, Texas Tech is willing to give me a lot of credit and a lot of opportunity, a lot of money for playing here, regardless of what the sport happened to be. They put money in for the gymnastics program.
If they got all this money, that's the best quarterback they could get. I mean, we talked about it on the postgame show that night. He didn't impress me. We'd heard all this about Cincinnati and Brendan Sorsby, and he's all this good. And I watched that game, and he did not do one single thing in that game that I walked away saying this kid could possibly be the best quarterback in college football next year.
And do you want to know why he's not that? And why he was the best that they could get at Texas Tech is because there's no stability at Texas Tech. This has not been a program under any circumstances that's ever shown to be somewhat consistent in a competitive aspect in the Big 12 or in any conference that they have played in to this point. So if that's the best you can get, because guess what? If I'm a top prospect in college for a quarterback, I'm not looking at Texas Tech as a serious option for me. I'm looking at an Alabama. I'm looking at an Oregon. I'm looking at a program that has been at the college football playoffs and multiple times over multiple seasons. I would even take, even after the bad season that Clemson had, I'd still look at them as a more viable option for me. If I was a college quarterback in the transfer portal, I'd look at that over Texas Tech, because how many times have they gone since the Jimbo Fisher incident? How many head coaches have they had? I want to say at least 2 since Jimbo got fired. But I can't tell you because they're not doing anything that's moving the needle on the media side that makes me care about what Texas Tech is doing as a program.
Well, they are now.
Well, and now they are, because they're busy doing things off the field than they are on it. And that's another aspect to this as well, DK, of why I say that this is a main reason why this is getting so much attention, because Texas Tech is not a major program in the football verse, that they're getting this attention for it, and they are trying to be lambasted by those who would say it. Like, let's be honest here. If it was University of Austin, I don't know if there'd be anything more than maybe a quick conversation. They'd bench him, and then they'd move on.
I don't know about that.
I think
I disagree with that, though.
I think the aspect of the NIL money at Texas Tech, because they have famously in the last 3 years, via a very generous booster, anonymous to my knowledge, but there's a lot of money flowing in the NIL coffers out there in Lubbock. Because, DK, how much money they've spent on softball and football. They were the second highest NIL roster in all of college football last season. Because of that, how many old school coaches are there still around the landscape? How many old school ADs are there still around the landscape who really believe in the student athlete idea behind college athletics, where students are there to learn, they're there to become young men and grow up into men and women, that whole thing and that process. And because NIL has lured people based on the largeness of the bag to certain universities, the pushback, I think, nationally, DK, has been greater just because because Texas Tech has gone so full-throated into the NIL era, and that's really what their athletic department is all about. They had the, second, third best statistic defense in all of the college football last year. They just, maybe need a few more touchdowns. They are really trying to win in every single sport. We just saw them last week come one game short of winning the College World Series in softball. So that's just what they're all about. I will say Brendan Sorsby did have 27 touchdowns and 5 interceptions last year. So the 2 he had versus Arizona was a little bit of an outlier. He had a decent season.
Well, and he didn't have any wins in November, so there you go.
No, last 4 or 5 games, right? They lost. Yeah, they lost their last 4 or 5 games.
Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, put out a statement today after meeting with the athletic directors. He said, "We had a thoughtful and productive conversation with our ADs today as we continue to work through the broader implications of this situation involving Texas Tech. Many of our athletic directors voiced their opinions. We will continue to have open and honest dialogue amongst the group, and until there is something to report, these conversations will remain within the conference." That was Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark on the conversations that were had today between him and the athletic directors. We mentioned yesterday one AD called it disgraceful what took place with the judge, and Nebraska AD Troy Dannon has essentially told his coaches that they are not allowed to schedule Texas Tech. And to be quite honest with you, I absolutely agree with that. That's how you shut this S down. You stop scheduling them. You don't put them on your schedule. That's the first step, and I love it. I love the schools policing the schools.
Now, if once Texas Tech did find out about this past of gambling by Mr. Sorsby, DK, and had made the necessary announcement that that would not be a part of their athletics department, this would be a completely different story. So the real story is, once Texas Tech found out, they waited to see whether or not he'd be clear. The NCAA banned him for the season and basically took up his eligibility, right? And then they gave him a 2-game suspension after the fact. So you want to talk about top down, that's the real question I have, is what level is importance to winning relative to everything else? Because the backlash, again, just to reiterate, is about gambling. These people coming out today and these meetings they're having across the country about not scheduling Texas Tech has to do with a young man gambling and then being reinstated to go and play again this season. And that, pall that it casts across the entire landscape of college athletics, if fans are out there thinking this athlete could be missing shots on purpose, shaving points, could be missing a wide receiver because they don't want to run the score up too high because they have the under, those kind of things are a huge problem in this era of NIL, walking around money for a lot of student athletes, and not to mention how easy it is to gain access to futures markets and to gambling apps.
Chris Vanini of The Athletic reports that today's AD call with the Big 12 lasted about 30 minutes, and one person with knowledge of the meeting, quote, said, "There's one person who has a different feeling than anyone else in the room." Take that for what it's worth. And there's another piece to this that I think is very important. We'll get to that coming up a little bit later in the show. 520-848-1290. We're gonna talk more about this. We're gonna chat with Nathan Geese. We've had him on the show before. He's the beat writer for the Texas Tech Red Raiders with the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. He is going to join us. We'll get his pulse of how this is all being read and felt down in the heart of Texas. Cricket is getting you home. Trick that cricket. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With a possible collision eastbound I-10 near Ajo Kino, got to stay to the right to get by and expect backups on eastbound I-10 between 29th Street and Ajo Kino. 72 the overnight low, sunny, 104 tomorrow, and 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America, sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026, dedicated to offering solutions to help businesses meet their goals locally and globally. More at bankofamerica.com/gamechangers. That's bankofamerica.com/gamechangers.
Summer camp at the Fox Tucson Theater. Discover filmmaking and movie magic. Learning about visual effects, storytelling, and creative expression, including a red carpet premiere of your own movie scenes. Lights, camera, action for all tweens and teens. Register today at foxtucson.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, helping you beat the books with Westwood One Sports. Taking a look at the pro football futures market in the AFC West, Kansas City the favorite at plus 180, followed by LA plus 185 and Denver plus 200. And I like Kansas City to bounce back in a big way and win this division. Love their signing of a cornerback who they traded a couple years ago. I think the Chiefs are loaded and win the division. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
Good evening, ma'am. We're the Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team, here for the overnight install of your new AC unit.
Great. Come in. We're so excited for a sleepover.
Oh, well, we're actually putting you and your family up in a hotel for the night. We work while you sleep.
Oh.
Okay, who's ready for a movie night? Popcorn or s'mores?
You know, that sounds pretty good. No, it doesn't.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Providing overnight installs so you don't miss work or leisure time with your family. GoodfellasAC.com.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
It's a hot spot on your dog's leg that the internet says you can treat it at home. You're not sure though, 'cause now it's oozing.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Ooh, he's licking it. Super gross, dude.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime, from anywhere, through the MyQ app. Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is an authorized LiftMaster dealer. We have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power's out. Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, I love to use the term ground zero when crazy things are happening. Ground zero for college football right now is Lubbock, Texas, where a judge yesterday basically said that Brendan Sorsby can play college football. Let's talk about what is the pulse right now in Lubbock, Texas. Joined by Nathan Geese. He covers the Texas Tech Red Raiders for the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Nathan, I bet you thought you were going to have a little bit of a light summer. Maybe not so much. What's happening down in Lubbock today with all that's transpired in the last 2 days or so?
Yeah, after spending 2 weeks in Oklahoma City at the Women's College World Series, you hope for a little reprieve after that, and just a fantastic Monday. This is one of those things that, we all knew a decision was coming. I can't say we expected this to be the decision, so it kind of shifted everything into, all right, so what are we looking at now? And obviously the process is still going to play out. The NCAA has already appealed it. I know they've set a trial date for February. I don't see it going into February for my sake and everybody else's sake. I don't think we want to go into February either. But it's such a unique situation that nobody really knows where to go from here. And I think that's kind of the thing everybody's trying to figure out right now. Like there's reports and rumors out there that all these schools and all these conferences say, hey, we don't even want to schedule Texas Tech anymore just because they're backing Sorsby in this injunction. And that's like the main ripple effect of all this, is that the judge's decision, which need to clarify this because I've seen this incorrectly in so many different places. This was not a Lubbock judge that did this. This judge had nothing to do with Texas Tech other than I believe his nephew graduated from here 20 years ago. So this wasn't a Texas Tech Association thing that kind of happened. This was just one retired judge that decided, hey, maybe the NCAA standing on this isn't as concrete as it would have been in, say, comparing it to how Pete Rose and all that kind of went down, the way recent NBA and NFL gambling probes and the MLB have kind of gone down as well.
Nathan, we talked about this in our opening segment, and one of my partners on the show here said that he believes that if this was another school, if this was Texas, if this was Alabama, if this was Michigan or Ohio State, we wouldn't even be having these conversations. But because it's Texas Tech, and all of a sudden they've got a lot of money coming into this program, and they've been able to put some of their teams. They put a team in the playoff last year, the football playoff. Softball team you just mentioned 2 years in a row played for the national championship. So they're kind of a new face on the national horizon. Do you believe that to be true? Do you believe that the college sports right now is picking on Texas Tech?
I don't think it's far off. I think the heat behind it is probably more because of Texas Tech. I do think if you saw this anywhere else that you would have the same kind of reaction of this is wrong and all that, but just the way everybody kind of rallied around the Texas Tech of it all, I do think that plays into it, because literally the whole conference is not wanting to schedule a Texas Tech thing anymore We had this last year, literally with softball. This is not new for anybody because they softball teams and programs didn't like how Texas Tech went about acquiring so much talent in the portal. Now, these are two very different circumstances, obviously. That was more of the softball world needs to catch up to what big-time athletics really is, whereas this is such a big thing because we have not seen something like this before. So there is a little bit to that, but I do think there would be blowback. I just don't think it would be this vitriolic.
Nathan Geese is our guest. He writes the beat for the Texas Tech Red Raiders with the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Brendan Sorsby coming over as a transfer from the University of Cincinnati. Nathan, how do you think this is all going to play out? Do you think he plays a game? Do you think he plays for Texas Tech this year?
I don't. No. I think, if anything, the most logical end to all this is that the NCAA wins on appeal and it just kind of drops after that. But there is that possibility. Again, we had to keep this in mind because we didn't think he would even get this injunction to begin with. So there is that possibility that the NCAA loses the appeal and then he is there. But I do think there is enough pressure to kind of being applied by everybody else that Tech would have to make a decision one way or the other where they can say, okay, we're not throwing Sorsby to the curb, but if we play him, the impact of that is going to be felt not just on this football team, but the football program, the basketball program, everybody, because it is such a line in the sand for so many people that even we can talk about the hypocrisy of that line in the sand, but there is a line in the sand there that if you step over that, you're whitewashed. You're blacklisted. They don't want anything to do with you, and I don't think you can take that gamble. I just don't think you can because especially with the reason Tech is in this position now because they want to be part of that eventual Super League. But if you're completely blacklisted from the people that are going to create that Super League,
right,
that's not going to work in your favor.
Interesting question here, Nathan. One of the things I think, and I went to a big school. I went to University of Southern California. And I've been one of the most vocal critics of my university about how they destroyed the Pac-12 conference. And I think that a lot of times that it needs to come from within the family. The family needs to step up and say, this is not right. What we've done is not right. We need to make this correct. What is the general feeling in the fan base about this situation?
And the fan base is just loving this because it's just another reason for people to hate Texas Tech. They are so on board with, if you go against us in anything, we will hate you and we will rub it in your face because of it. Now, I do think there is a more calm and rational approach to this, and people do have this, is that this is a problem one way or the other. And I think that's kind of the dividing line we have here from everybody, is that you can see the gray area in all this where it's not so black and white, but it probably should be more black and white than it actually is. And one of the things that's kind of complicating everything is the Cody Campbell of it all, because he's the guy putting the money in for this. Right. He wants this team to do well, but that ruling goes against everything he's trying to do in the federal system and what they're trying to do with the Save College Sports Act and all that stuff. So it is kind of that thing of, if this benefits the immediate, okay, you just kind of have to go with it, but we don't want this to happen in the future, sort of thing.
Do you think Cody Campbell would say, don't play him?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what anybody would say in this point. I mean, here's the thing that's interesting about this.
Because again, like I said, it comes from the family. Like if I'm Cody Campbell and I'm giving money to USC and USC does something that they do something, so I would absolutely say, don't play him. I would absolutely say that.
It would not surprise me if that were a discussion that him and McGuire and the Kirby Hocutt are having in the background of all this, where maybe we even get to like the first day of camp opening and they just announce, hey, Sorsby's clear to play, but we're not going to play him out of the better intentions of the rest of our university athletic department. Like, that would not surprise me either, because I do think, for Tech's perspective, you don't want to just throw Sorsby to the curb. One, yes, they have a lot of money invested into this and this football team, and he is a big part of that. But I do think if they had to cut their losses with it, I think you have to be okay with that, because nobody could have really foreseen this coming, except apparently Cincinnati, who knew about this 2 years ago. But and that's a whole other thing we can get into. But I think, I don't know, this is so complicated and messy that it's giving me a headache I didn't want to have.
Nathan Geese is covering the Texas Tech Red Raiders for the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. You mentioned being in Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series. I was called because I came here initially, did a lot of working within the U of A program and covered softball. And I always said softball is kind of the fun house. It's kind of the fun place to be. The games are quick. They're a lot of fun. The girls play at a very high level. And I would have to imagine that this is a really fun program to cover, because you got a lot of different personalities. Again, a lot of transfers that came in. You had Taylor Pannell from Tennessee. You had Mia Williams from Florida. And, of course, you had the main the transfer, Nyjah Kennedy from Stanford. How fun was that program to cover?
I would say last year was more fun than this year, because this year was a lot more of that stress of the kind of cloud hanging over them, like the scheduling conflicts with everybody, the potential of the Tennessee thing, which reared its ugly head on us, unfortunately, and I just kind of had to unleash stuff I've been holding since last June. So I do think there was less fun involved because there was so much expectation. And you could see it in, like, the players too. Like, they tried to take this business-like approach, like, don't show up your opponents when you're beating them by 15. And then it just kind of like they had to find that middle ground of it late in the season. And I think that's the reason why they got to the championship in the first place, because it would not have shocked me if they lost in the regional, just with the way they had kind of closed, and everything just felt like it weighed on them. But talent-wise, it was unbelievable. And then when they had that comeback against Ole Miss, I'm never going to forget that. That was an insane experience to just stand there and watch the whole thing unfold.
8 runs down to come back and win that. Did you get a chance to talk any basketball with Jason Williams?
I can't say he's one that I was able to communicate with this year. I talked to his wife, Danica, for a preseason feature about that, and she kind of told me, hey, he just kind of sits in the outfield, doesn't like to be part of it. And then it was very surprising to see he was right up at the net there. But again, that kind of goes into the whole, it wasn't so much about softball anymore with that team. It was a lot about the other stuff, and that just kind of bubbled to the surface.
Yeah, it was very interesting to watch. What is it, though, about as far as the on-the-field part of it? What is it about Jerry Glasgow and his system that there's got to be something there that's attracting these good players besides the fact that they can get top NIL dollars?
There are a lot of coaches and players will say, this coach treats me like the best person ever. And it's not just about the player, but you really see that with Jerry. Like he's like a grandpa. He is their grandpa because he is an older guy. He even admits, like, it's hard for him to relate to some of these players. And I think that's kind of an endearing quality to him. Like he expects a lot of them. He works them to the bone to get with his hitting machines and everything. But they also understand that he wants the best for them, not because it benefits him, but because it's going to benefit them. And the way Mia Williams kind of broke down at the press conference during the World Series to say how much she appreciated him and he meant to her, just the way he kind of handles everything. A lot of it is just kind of the human nature of it. Like he can get the best hitting out of anybody. Like Mia Williams was on another level this year, and she was great at Florida last year. But everybody had an uptick on what they were kind of able to do offensively, just working under him.
All right, give us a little bit of a sense of Grant McCaslin's retooling of his roster for next year. What's it look like?
So let's just say that there were probably some different shifting involved with how they were going to rebuild this team, because you kind of have to figure by mid-January, late January, you think, okay, we're going to be building this team around JT Toppin.
Right.
And then he gets hurt, and all of a sudden, oh, we don't have that anymore. And that alone would have been a drawing factor to get some, I guess, bigger name guys in the portal. So then you kind of have to figure, well, this is going to be a completely new team. Christian's going to go out to the NBA. JT, I'm guessing he's not going to play this year unless they pass 5 for 5 at some point, because why would you burn a year of eligibility for maybe a month of action and you're not fully healthy yet? So it's a lot of guards. It's a couple high school kids. One of them, Dakari Spear, he was like I think he's a consensus 5-star now. He's kind of the centerpiece to it. And then you got some scoring guards, but they don't have a lot of size. They have size, but it's kind of raw size, so you're kind of dealing with that. And the big thing right now is they're still missing like 5 guys on the roster. They don't have a full roster right now. So because they lost about 10 guys, including Toppin from last year, and replaced them with 5 or so. So it's not a finished product whatsoever, and he would tell you that too. But it's just going to be interesting to see how everything shapes up.
All right, well, get some downtime, Nathan, before Big 12 Media Days coming up here in about a month down in Texas. I always appreciate the chance to talk to you, Nathan. Great information as always, and we look forward to doing it again in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Take care.
All right, there you go. Nathan Geese. He writes the Texas Tech beat for the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. We'll dive into what is continuing to happen, the fallout, some more comments about the meetings that are taking place around not just the Big 12, but college athletics, about what to do about this situation down in Lubbock, Texas, involving Red Raiders' potential future starting quarterback, Brendan Sorsby. DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290. Want to hear your thoughts on everything that's transpired. Where do you stand on all of this? Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With some slowdowns on the eastbound side of I-10 near Star Pass 22nd Street, and also busy travel on Speedway east of I-10. Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells also for slowing, and Grant Road east of I-10 remains closed through the beginning of August. 72 the overnight low, tomorrow sunny and 104 and 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Did you hear what we're talking about?
In full fabulous flow, pepping down the left-hand side.
It wouldn't be the beautiful game without some full fabulous flow. Christian Pulisic.
Gotta have it, man. Gotta have it.
DK on the Sports Tip, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
Looking for a reliable auto repair shop in Tucson? Look no further than Integrity Automotive and Diesel. Family owned and operated, we're conveniently located on Ina just east of I-10. We pride ourselves on helping you understand your vehicle and keeping it road ready. As a Parts Plus and Mastercraft tire dealer, we offer a nationwide warranty for peace of mind. Stop by for a free AC check. Call us at 520-744-9710 or visit integrityautorepairs.com. Proud sponsor of the Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Ugh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause.
But with anytime emergency scheduling, the neighborly done right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed.
Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing,
a neighborly company.
The Target, 422 Maple Drive. No tripped alarms, no broken windows. While you were sleeping, they made off with $50,000 in equity, and they didn't even use a getaway car.
Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Don't let termites turn your equity into sawdust. We stop the heist before the damage is done. Call 520-201-2000 for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, termites.
I come from a low-income family, and as a first-generation college student, it was difficult for me to navigate the way. Hughes Federal Credit Union and Earn to Learn provided a pathway for me to learn valuable budgeting and financial education. I am currently a graduate student in public health and helping my younger siblings with their college paths.
Find out how Hughes and Earn to Learn join forces to support student success at hughesfcu.org/earn-to-learn. Insured by NCUA. Certain restrictions apply.
I feel like I'm getting robbed when I bet the finals on a sportsbook.
Dude, delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sportsbook. You trade against other fans, not the house. That means more money for you and less for greedy sportsbooks.
Even during the finals?
Especially during the finals. You can even trade on whether Trump or Chalamet will attend the games.
No way. What's the catch?
No catch, and it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code LAP for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code LAP for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code LAP.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
Everyone loves to get together for food, fun, and sports. But what's the best spot? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire, Catalina, and Oro Valley. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and for our neighbors for years, and we get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. At our Catalina Grill, you'll love the elevated bar fare and barbecue, served in our relaxed and fun neighborhood grill. Fork and Fire Catalina, where great food meets good times and a strong community. Bring everyone on down to Fork and Fire in Catalina and Oro Valley.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Chumba Casino, your online casino for plays, spins, and a chance to score. Must be 21 and over. Terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Game 3 of the NBA Finals goes to the San Antonio Spurs. The Knicks still have the advantage in the series. Game 4 is Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden. After last night, we know this series is returning for Game 5 in San Antonio. I'm Chris Black.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All kinds of things being leaked about this conference call between Brett Yormark and the Big 12 ADs today. Brandon Marcello, who is with the senior national college football reporter for CBS Sports, says that it kind of matched the quote we gave you prior to our conversation with Nathan Geese, where I think the quote was everybody in the only one person in the room has a different opinion from everybody else. He says every Big 12 AD but Texas Tech's Kirby Hocutt believes Brendan Sorsby shouldn't play. That was communicated today on the call. He says there are plenty of ideas to convince Pressure Tech to cut Sorsby loose, but ADs believe it's common sense. He bet on sports. Tech shouldn't play him. That's our question of the day to you today. Head on over to Twitter right now, at Wildcats1290. Just put it up. Hot off the presses, as they like to say. Do you think Brendan Sorsby plays a down of football for Texas Tech this season? Do you think Brendan Sorsby plays a down of football for Texas Tech this season? Head on over right now, our Twitter account, at Wildcats1290. You can vote in that poll, your question of the day, for the next 24 hours. Want to hear from you as well. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. So if you listened to our interview there with Nathan Geese, you heard a name mentioned, a gentleman by the name of Cody Campbell. Big time, played football at Texas Tech. Believe he played for a period of time, short period of time in the National Football League with the Indianapolis Colts, and is a big-time oil businessman. How do you become? I'd like to know that. How do you become a big-time oil business? How do you make billions in oil? I sure would like to know that.
Ever seen There Will Be Blood?
Mm-hmm. No.
There's always a movie.
There's always a movie involved.
Yes, no.
I mean, every movie we talk about is one Best Picture at one point. That was definitely a Best Picture and best direct.
It was called what now?
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be
It's
Blood.
crazy because the first 20 minutes of that movie has no dialogue. It's really weird.
And not only that, it's very minimal with the background music or any noise. Like, it's very quiet.
It's a joke answer, DK, because the movie's from 120 years, 150 years ago.
Yeah,
basically, the answer to your question is you inherit it. You
Nowadays,
have relatives who own, wells across Texas, and that's how you become, or you make the right investments, because it's really a guessing game. The straw analogy aside from that movie, the idea is, if you hit the right spot, and obviously the deeper the well and the more that you have, and then there's obviously, the whole aspect of fracking that's gone on more recently, and that's what's has gone on in Central Arkansas, where Paige is from. Yeah, that's another way to get oil from the rocks, as opposed to drilling like they do. Traditionally in Texas, it's drills, with oil that comes up and spews up into the air when they first get it open. But fracking is a thing in the last 15, 20 years, which is a different process of getting oil out of the rocks, of shale, I think it is.
Yeah. And nowadays, again, with There Will Be Blood, it's very much like an old school, early frontier oil drilling kind of mentality with the way that character finds his oil. But if you wanted to go and find a more modern day take on it, you're probably going to want to watch the TV show Landman on Paramount. That's probably the more more recent to how it works now. But it's very, I would say, it takes some liberties in some instances, as all TV shows do. I mean, no one's going to watch Yellowstone and think that's how you run a ranch either.
It's a recent movie this century, but it was based on the 1900s, early 1900s.
There Will Be Blood? Yeah, it's like 20 years old, 25 years old.
2007, it looks like.
One of Daniel Day-Lewis's best performances.
Okay. One of his last ones, too, right?
Yeah, because it was that and then Abraham, who did Lincoln.
Paul Thomas Anderson directed it. As you mentioned, Daniel Day-Lewis.
I only learned last week or 2 weeks ago that he's married to Maya Rudolph. Not married, they're partners, but they have 3 kids together. I didn't know that. Because Paul Thomas Anderson's great.
Oh, Paul Thomas Anderson, yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson and Maya Rudolph from SNL.
Yeah. Love Maya Rudolph. Funny.
She's great.
Funny lady. All right, so anyway, Cody Campbell, he put out a statement yesterday, and if you caught part of what Nathan said there, he's actually one of the people who is working to try to fix this system of college athletics right now. Yes, he has all this money, and he's putting it into Texas Tech, but he's also trying to create a system that levels the playing field for a lot of schools, if that's possible to be done by a single donor at a particular school. But he came out with a statement yesterday, and I just want to read you what he put out regarding the Sorsby situation. He says, "This unfortunate situation is the outcome of a broken system. I'm doing everything I can to fix it, but until there's a permanent solution, Texas Tech and its student athletes have to do the best they can to navigate and compete amid the chaos that exists in the reality of the world that we live in. That was Cody Campbell's statement on this situation yesterday.
I mean, again, like that statement falls in the same line of the irony of what their lawyers argued why he should be eligible, which was what? It was that he has a gambling addiction, and only at Texas Tech, as a student athlete there, can he get the help that he needs. Literally was the argument for why he should be. Now, that statement by Mr. Campbell, I think, would hold more water, Dragon Ball, if this whole situation wasn't about the NCAA and gambling, and that being a big, big no-no. And the idea behind it being that Sorsby has been known to gamble on a team that he was on, and that's why he got his ineligibility ruling by the NCAA. So the idea that a judge who's come out of retirement, this judge had been retired for 20 years, made this ruling. He does, a lot of judges will retire and they'll still do a couple of court cases here and there, not on the bench currently. But that idea that they're arguing that he needs to be in school to get help for his gambling addiction. The NCAA says you can't play because we have proof that you gambled on teams you were on. And Mr. Campbell, we're only playing by the rules in front of us. Well, the rules right now are don't gamble on a team that you're playing on. And the NCAA already kind of said that.
Yeah, and not only that, the idea that he needs to be a part of the team and in the college program to get the help he needs. I'm gonna be honest, DK and JW. I was in college probably most recently out of the three of us. I don't think at any point did I ever go up to think that a college counselor was going to help me with a gambling addiction. I feel like that's a bit more than what a school counselor, college level or otherwise, is really equipped to handle in that particular situation.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We'll dive more into this. Again, it's our question of the day. Brendan Sorsby, will he play a down of college football this year? Head on over to Twitter. You can vote in that. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to talk we talked last week to one of the newest inductees, or about to be newest inductees. It was announced the latest class, the class of 2026, for the Pima County Sports Hall of Fame. We talked to Clark Christ last week. Another name on that list to be inducted is Corey Williams. We're going to chat with Corey Williams coming up today. We'll get his thoughts on being inducted. We'll talk some college basketball with him as well. And his Tucson Summer Pro League, which is now strictly a kids league, got underway this past weekend. So we'll get an update from Corey on all of that.
I was ready to boo.
That's happening as well. You ready to what?
If you would have said where the venue is, I would have booed.
Oh, the Gregory School? Yeah, that's right. Greenfields guy.
Well, that was our big rival when I was in high school, yeah.
Yeah, if it was over at CDO, then I would have booed.
You got to.
There you go. Marana on the other side of the room here. I don't have a high school dog in this fight. But it was great playing golf up at Saturday at the CDO football golf outing. I was terrible. Thank you, Reggie Geary and Glenn Howell, for carrying me. Reggie Geary can play some golf, y'all.
That does not surprise me.
Reggie's out there playing a lot, man. He was like, "Oh yeah, I played yesterday." I'm like, "Bro, how many times a week are you playing golf?" I mean, Reggie carried us. I think we finished 9 under. We birdied 6 holes on the backside. Yeah, we had 6 of the 9 birdies on the backside, so we were happy with that. But trust me when I tell you, they used very few of my shots, and I don't think I made any putts either. So that tells
How's
you the
Glenn's
kind of day
game going these days?
Glenn, if I was playing 1-on-1 against Glenn, I'd feel much better about having a chance to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure to put that in the basket here for later.
I'm not beating Reggie, but I think I could probably still at least hold Glenn down just a little bit.
I cannot wait for us to have camp
Reggie
updates
hit this
with
ball.
Glenn.
There was this one hole. I don't remember what hole it is. I think it's like the 7th hole. It's a blind. It's not a blind tee shot. It's a straight tee shot, and then it dog legs left like down a hill, so you can try to hit it over the trees to where the fairway is on the other side. And Reggie did that. He literally hit the ball over the trees.
Like a fade?
Yeah, it was he hit it way over these trees. You can't see the fairway on the left side. You just have to try to see if you can get it there. And he got it there, like literally like 100 yards from the green, and we were on in 2. I was like, man, bro, that was like, I'm the one, I'm like hitting straight like 200 yards down to where the fairway turns to the dog, and then I'm hitting my second shot down that way, whereas he just went over the trees down by the green. I was like, man, come on now. That's crazy. All right, Dragon Ball's got everything happening in sports here in Southern Arizona, as well as sports around the world.
Well, the NBA draft is getting closer and closer by the day, and the NBA draft's green room is beginning to fill up as well. And one of the top Arizona prospects will be sitting there waiting to hear his name called. The first wave of invitees have been announced, and former Arizona shooting guard Braden Burries will be among the 14 currently chosen to be in the NBA draft prospects pool there, and that will be in the green room waiting for the revelation of where their first NBA home is going to be. Now, Burries remains the only Wildcat in that grouping, but last year's green room held about 24 prospects, so there may be a chance for other Wildcats like Koa Pete and others to find themselves invited when the first selections are made out in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Meanwhile, it looks as though the Diamondbacks have decided to move on from former San Francisco Giants star prospect Taylor Rashi, as the Arizona Diamondbacks announced they will be moving the right-handed reliever to the Twins for cash considerations. Arizona had originally designated him for assignment this past Friday after he'd been struggling for some time in the big league stints, with an ERA standing at 5.4 across 20 innings just the past 2 seasons. And a strong finish for the Spurs this time around in the NBA Finals. They managed to be the ones collecting the clutch shots in the fourth quarter rather than the Knicks after dropping the first 2 games.
Wembanyama comes out, shot clock at 4. Now the dribble. Shot clock winding down. Castle has to put it up. Bang! Stephon Castle from 3-point range. And it's a 7-point Spurs lead.
There's not many shots in the NBA that I would describe as an alley-oop three-pointer, but that would be one of those for sure. Now, with that 3, the game pretty much went to a free throw battle after that in the last minute and a half before the Spurs managed to put the nail in the coffin and return the favor to the Knicks after they dropped the first 2 games in San Antonio, now stealing this one in New York. The Spurs have a chance to look to even up the series at 2 games apiece when they meet up again tomorrow. And I'm Dragon Ball through 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do.
Headed for the corner, he's in. Touchdown, Arizona. On the break, slap it home. Here comes the throw home. He slides, he's safe. The Cats are champions.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. Collision Irvington near I-19, Irvington west of I-19, reported wreck. Also, slowdowns at Swan and Glen and usual backups for traffic on Alvernon at Grant. Traffic at the intersection down to 1 lane each direction, no left turns permitted Grant Road and Alvernon Way. 72 the overnight low, sunny, 104 tomorrow and 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
Rev up Father's Day gift giving at summitracing.com. You'll find unique gifts, parts, tools, accessories, and more. Or give the perfect card, a Summit Racing gift card. Shop summitracing.com, plus enroll in the rewards program to get more power in every purchase.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do.
Headed for the corner, he's in. Touchdown, Arizona. On the break, slap it home. Here comes the throw home. He slides, he's safe. The Cats are champions.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-885-3300. 800-885-3300.
When it comes to weight loss, you don't need more advice. You need more of what works. That's Weight Watchers, with real tools designed to take the guesswork out of what to eat, how to move, and how to build habits that actually last. That's why Weight Watchers members lose more weight. Real people, real results. Weight Watchers Core Plus. Get started at weightwatchers.com/radio. In a 6-month clinical trial of over 370 people, those using Weight Watchers saw significantly better results than those following standard nutritional advice alone. See the 2025 study published in the AJCN.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Arizona drivers know June is the calm before the furnace. Temperatures are rising and the intense summer heat is on its way. It's as certain as the next cracked asphalt road or suspension slaying pothole. Just around the corner and coming quickly. But Arizona drivers know that Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the one stop to make sure their car, SUV, light truck, or minivan is road trip ready for this summer's torture test for tires, batteries, brakes, and cooling systems. Just about every part under maximum stress. But mention this ad during June and get Jack Furrier's road trip ready inspection at no charge with the purchase of any oil change. A $30 value for free that gives you the inspection information you need to lower your stress before heading into another summer of extreme Arizona driving. And if you already know you need tires or service, come by to the Locals Choice for the most affordable tires and rock-solid guarantees at 14 award-winning locations. Make an appointment online, call ahead, or just stop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
For 250 years, America has been a bold experiment in freedom. Generation after generation, Americans have carried that freedom forward, running farther, climbing higher, standing stronger. From stadiums to neighborhood blacktops, from hometown fields to the world stage, the spirit stays the same. This year, America turns 250, and the next chapter of freedom is yours to write. All Americans can get involved in the celebration. Learn how at freedom250.org. That's freedom250.org.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media Station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
For all of Cody Campbell's money that Texas Tech was spending, they are only 39th in the most recent dropping of the standings for the Directors' Cup. We promised you that that was going to happen today. It has. Texas Tech 39th. The Wildcats, after the first of the final dump of the winter sports back in late April, were 48th. Fellas, I'm going to have you guess here before I tell you where they are. What do you think they jumped up to?
Arizona?
Yeah.
They were 48th?
Yeah.
I think mid-30s sounds good to me. That's what you
Mid-30s?
said. You predicted them because, after the success they had, obviously, in golf and in the most recent events, despite the fact that they didn't finish well, obviously, in baseball or softball, which could count against, I'd say somewhere 36, 37.
All right. Dragon Ball.
I'm going to put it at about, give me 37.
37. How about 31?
Wow.
Ooh. The Wildcats are 31st in the most recent release of the Directors' Cup standings, fueled by postseasons, finishes by women's golf, obviously, but more so even top 5 finishes by both the men's golf team, a Final Four appearance, and the men's tennis team, an Elite 8 appearance. Wildcats also got points from softball and women's tennis during the spring for a grand total spring score of 258.5 points to go along with the 267.5 points that they had in the winter. So the Wildcats, sitting at 601 total points, could sneak into the top 30 if they have some good things happen for them at the NCAA Track and Field Championships, which will begin tomorrow in Eugene, Oregon.
Homework for Dragon Ball. We'll just make him cross-reference all of the 30 teams ahead, the potentials that they have for the Track and Field Championships coming up, and then we'll just put that into a spreadsheet and figure out what the chances are that Arizona, with a good showing, will push up into that top 20.
You ready to do that?
All right, let's see what we got here.
Get my abacus out.
Yeah,
I do have really good news for
require
you.
like 3 of them.
DK, I got good news for you, though.
Yeah.
As far as you becoming an oil baron,
okay.
Turns out that Cody Campbell did not inherit a bunch of oil wells.
Okay.
He didn't buy his first land with his teammate from college, John Sellers, until 2008.
Wow.
So if you and your wife go out and buy some oil fields right now, 18 years from now, you could have just amass the same amount of fortune as Cody Campbell, and you could be that same guy for the U of A.
There we go. I need to go out and buy some oil, then, is what you're saying, or something of that nature.
Get some property here.
Get some property.
Yeah, and the Permian Basin is where most of the hot oil wells are.
Ah, the Permian Basin. Yes, there we go. It's all down in Texas. That's why I can tell you, good things happening in Texas. Wildcat football's recruiting down in Texas again. Strong, maybe even more so. I'd be interested to see the numbers, to see if we are recruiting more in Texas now than we were in the Mike Stoops era, because the Mike Stoops recruited Texas heavily, and then I've always said that I thought the biggest mistake that Rich Rodriguez made was getting out of Texas and not getting back in soon enough. But I'd be interested to see if our Texas numbers are rivaling what we had in the early part of the century when Mike Stoops was that.
Let's get Kelvin Ifan on the phone and see what his opinion is on the subject.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. We will do that for sure. All right, so the top 10 right now in terms of this latest Directors Cup, so there's still to be scored, obviously, is baseball and outdoor track and field. Those are the only 2 sports left in this particular academic calendar, still yet to be completed. So Stanford is number 1 by a lot. They have over a 350-point lead over North Carolina. So Stanford could be back in the top spot again. They obviously won the national championship in golf. Women's golf, they finished 5th. In men's golf, they got some points from cross country. They finished as the runner-up in rowing, women's rowing crew, if you want to call it that. They finished runner-up in women's beach volleyball. Lost to UCLA, and they finished 3rd in women's water polo. So they got a ton of spring points from a bunch of top 5 finishes in the Olympic sports. So Stanford is 1, North Carolina 2, Texas 3, Virginia 4, UCLA 5. Your bottom 5 in the top 10, Michigan, Ohio State, Duke, Princeton, still hanging on. Remember we said Princeton last week.
7 to 8?
7 to 9.
7 to 9.
So they fell from 7 to 9th. USC is 10th overall. Then 11 to 20, Florida, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Texas A&M, North Carolina State, Tennessee is 17th. LSU, Alabama, Oklahoma. That rounds out your top 20. 21 to 25, Nebraska, Arkansas, Wisconsin, Cal, Washington. So Cal still getting a lot of points from their Olympic sports. And then Vanderbilt, Kentucky, TCU, BYU, Louisville round out the top 30. Arizona is 31, followed by Iowa, Oklahoma State, Auburn, and Illinois at 35. Arizona State comes in at 36th overall. So the Wildcats right now are ahead of the Sun Devils in terms of their overall Directors' Cup standing.
That's one of the saddest things to me about the breakup of the pack is that there was an association there, DK. I mean, Arizona's had a long history of Olympic sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know the gold medals and all of that. But compare like Stanford, UCLA, and USC, just those 3 schools alone, right, are at the top of all of those lists. And so when the pack dissolved and those schools went to the Big Ten and the ACC respectively, that top of that list, DK, used to be 6 Pac-10 or Pac-12 schools in the top 10.
Right.
Year in, year out. And there was just something to be said about, man, our athletic conference really dominates so many sports that aren't on television, right? And it's no longer the case. And one of the saddest things is that, disassociation, and now Arizona and Arizona State are the two schools that are usually going to score as high as anybody from the Big 12 conference moving forward, in that you don't necessarily see a lot of those other schools involved heavily in a lot of the Olympic sports.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us that number. You can text us that number. Also, I kind of made a complaint a few weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, when we found out that the Red-Blue game is going to be the same day as a University of Arizona football game, different location. The football team's on the road. Obviously, the Red-Blue game's here at home, but they're going to be at least we thought we're going to be in the same window because the football team tips off at 4:30. What I'm hearing, though, is that the Red-Blue game is probably going to be an early start that day on that particular Saturday. I believe it's September the 26th, I believe, is the day that I'm hearing that it's likely going to be an afternoon event, which would be different than it's been for the most part, I think, ever since they started doing it. It's usually been an evening event. 6:30, 7 o'clock time frame, and especially with the the post move concert, you get out of the event, you go right over to post move. So I don't know if that would mean that the post move concert would be more of a dayside event as well as it being an evening event, which might actually be better, because I think by the time you got to post move, I think this past year was almost 10 o'clock. Like, we stayed an hour because we had an early show for football the next day because it was on a Friday night. So you might actually be able to get some folks to maybe stick around a little bit longer for that if it's a little bit earlier time frame than after the Red-Blue game in the evening. So we'll keep you posted on all of that. But I'm told that the Red-Blue game will likely not interfere, at least for the most part, with the football game that starts at 4.
That makes total sense, right? Because you think about the amount of admiration that the coaching staffs for the football and basketball teams have for each other, but just the athletic department as a whole, DK. I mean, the amount of support, doesn't matter what sports you play, you're going to get support from the other sports around campus. And, of course, they're going to try to do their best, with Noah bringing his team in for his last go-around or whatever. You want to make sure that team gets as much support as humanly possible coming off a great bowl season. So you got to have it. Basketball is always going to be the biggest draw, but if you can arrange it so that the football team also gets some love from the Arizona fan base, I mean, that's the way you got to do it.
Cricket. Yes. What do we call our money here in the desert? Because everybody has every sector has their money. Like we were talking last week, in Kentucky, you have bourbon money, you have horse racing money, because there's the bourbon and horse racing are real big there.
So extra money?
People make money, like the money. The people, the well-greased people that live in Kentucky made their money in either bourbon or horse racing.
So I don't know if I'd know anything about making money.
So
money like that sounds like a lot of money when you talk about horse racing money.
Are you saying you're poor?
I'm saying I don't have money to bet on horse races.
Well, no. So what do we call it for the people that are big time here in Arizona? What do we call our money here? I think Dragon Ball and J-Dub said, what did you say? Breathing money, because people come here to get copper, and breathing money because people come here to get well.
No. Copper, cotton, and healthcare is what Tucson was founded on 100 years ago. Yeah.
Would you agree with that, or do you have something else?
I don't know what to call the money that we make. I guess I'm kind of confused on what the question is.
It's not something to agree on. It's something that's just a fact of what Tucson was based on. So what he's saying is
copper. 100%.
Yeah. So all the people who are boosters for the universities in Texas bring the oil money to pay the student athletes to go and play there. So DK is just wondering what the equivalent of that is, the industry in Southern Arizona that would be able to support enough money to be able to give some of those student athletes money to come play at the U of A, basically.
I guess copper.
Copper?
Yeah, the problem is they closed all the mines. But I did hear last week that copper is at its highest price ever, which means that, of course, a lot of wires are being stripped out of walls these days. Be careful out there.
Truth.
They go ahead and stop making the penny, and all of a sudden, copper just goes way up.
Well, no, it's data centers.
Right,
Because
yeah.
every data center that they put up, which go read the news, I mean, they're putting up a new one every week.
Every 3 weeks.
Uses a ton of copper, obviously. So the copper price has never been higher worldwide as of last week. So maybe they'll reopen the mines or think about it. But that's a whole nother conversation. If you want to go read about why the copper mines are closed around Tucson, that's another story for another day.
Yeah, because I imagine we're not going to be calling Tucson money like Adobe money or the Adobe anything like
it's
that.
not like Napolitos money.
No.
Like that probably doesn't really earn you a ton of money.
Prickly pear, cactus, tea, or whatever it is money. Something like that. Prickly pear margarita money.
Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, sir. Sir, have we taught you nothing?
Prickly pear money.
Prickly pear margarita money.
Prickly pear
Margarita money.
Those are actually really good.
They're delish.
I'd never had one until I went to Chillin' on the Chul a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a prickly pear margarita, and I was like, man, I can't drink too many of these. 'Cause they're really good, and they'll have to roll me out of here.
Nice.
All right, Crickets.
That's a good weekend.
Crickets got quotes. Let's hear some music for Crickets quotes. All right.
Center.
There we go. Yeah. Go.
The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing.
The way to get started is to quit talking and start doing.
Yes.
I'm going to say that came from a legendary educator, but I don't know who.
I guess you could sort of say that.
I'd be in trouble if I didn't know this, but my girlfriend's a Disney nut, so it's Walt Disney. Is it not?
You could consider him maybe an educator.
Walt Disney said that?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he did.
One more time.
The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing.
All right. Look at Walt Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Saying smart stuff.
Gotta make some parks.
Yeah.
Gotta make some money.
Gotta make some imaginations.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I can't remember it off the top of my head. I'll have to look it up. But apparently, we went to Disney World a few years ago, and apparently there was a really cool story about how he got the land to build Disney World in Orlando. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was like quintessential business acumen about how he did it.
He was a smart man.
He was a very, very, very genius.
Yeah, so what happened was they got 4 square miles, and they did it with the notion that it would not be a part of the state of Florida and that they would be responsible for the fire and for the health and all of the other things that you would think of a city government taking care of. And that's when Mr. DeSantis, the governor, took back over Disney World 3 years ago. As a huge story in the news. And now the Disney company no longer owns that land and controls that land as they did for the past 70 years. That was literally a big story in the news not too long ago.
At least it wasn't eminent domain like Mr. Kroenke.
Yeah, they took the land. They just took it. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Her name is Cricket, and she makes you smarter every single day here at 412. Not to mention, she makes sure you get home safely every 20 minutes on the 5.
We'll try. From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. We've got roadwork and closures along Glen, westbound Glen west of Alvernon closed, westbound Glen near Country Club closed, and also roadwork on Country Club near Glen. So instead of using Glen due to those closures, you could use Fort Lowell. Maybe instead of Country Club, Tucson Boulevard as an alternate route. 73, the overnight low, sunny, 104 tomorrow and 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it in and get a quote in minutes. Plus, access thousands of products beyond what's in store or on Lowe's.com. Right from the Lowe's Pro Desk.
With Bet365 Early Payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Good evening, ma'am. We're the Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team, here for the overnight install of your new AC unit.
Great. Come in. We're so excited for a sleepover.
Oh, well, we're actually putting you and your family up in a hotel for the night. We work while you sleep.
Oh.
Okay, who's ready for a movie night? Popcorn or s'mores?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
No, it doesn't.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Providing overnight installs so you don't miss work or leisure time with your family. GoodfellasAC.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215215. That's HIM to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health. I feel like I'm getting robbed when I bet the finals on a sports book.
Dude, delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans, not the house. That means more money for you and less for greedy sports books.
Even during the finals?
Especially during the finals. You can even trade on whether Trump or Chalamet will attend the games.
No way. What's the catch?
No catch, and it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code LAP for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code LAP for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code LAP.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, last week we got a chance to talk to one of the new members of the Pima County, I should say. I was going to say Pima College. Pima County Sports Hall of Fame, Clark Christ. And it's a huge class going in the 2026, and another fabulous name on that list is another big friend of the program. It is Corey Williams, longtime Arizona Wildcat basketball player and member of this community, and he joins us on the show now, ESPN college basketball analyst. Corey, I always appreciate the chance to chat with you, and appreciate you joining us. Congratulations, Pima County Sports Hall of Fame. Is this anything you ever thought would happen to you?
Not in a million years. And, just something I was very excited to hear about. It wasn't something I was expecting, me being a Midwest guy from Illinois, playing high school ball there, and, brief 4-year span here in Tucson, playing for U of A. I really didn't think of it in terms of that when you think about, sports honors for Pima County. But then, they obviously factored in a lot of the stuff I've been fortunate enough to be involved in since graduating. So I spent, the last couple of decades in the community doing some things, and people recognized it and appreciated it. So I can understand it, but I was definitely surprised.
Well, let's start with the fact, because one of the things that I was talking about, we were both at the event for Joseph Blair, the unveiling of his mother's basketball court. You were the first one to kind of do a basketball court here in southern Arizona, and I was just telling people, I was like, we don't have. There's not a lot of guys that come here and stay. I mean, Corey Williams is one of the guys that came here from another place and stayed in this community. And I just want to go back to that piece of it and why Tucson was the place you felt as you were kind of coming of age that you thought might be a place that would be a great home for you, long-term home for you.
Well, the running joke with me and a lot of the alums is, I'm one of the few guys that didn't go pro as a small forward at Arizona. So one of the it was almost automatic from Sean Elliott all the way up until me, Chris Mills, all those guys go pro. But a lot of our alums go on to do tremendous things, and their careers take them away from Tucson. I can tell you honestly that each and every one of them has a special place in their heart for Tucson, but they go on to bigger and better things. I'm just a simple guy from Batavia, Illinois, population 20,000. I think there's more than 20,000 people on the east side of Tucson alone. So I'm from a small town. So for me, coming back to Tucson, the connections, the friendships I made, the experiences I had in college, it was just a no-brainer. I still have family back in the Midwest, but, I decided to make Tucson my home for a lot of reasons. During my career, it was just the place to be where I could still play basketball. We started the summer league back in 2004, so all of us guys that were playing pro ball had something to do every summer. And then the nail in the coffin, so to speak, was when my parents finally moved out here. And once they took roots here in Tucson, it was a wrap. The rest of the family showed up shortly after that. So, for me, Tucson, it was a great community. I made a lot of friends at the university. Once I finished playing, I began to become connected and make friendships with a lot of people in the business community, whether they were donors, boosters, just Wildcat fans in general. And I got to tell you, the last 30 years that I've been in Tucson have been really great years.
Corey Williams is our guest, Arizona basketball forward, class of 1996. He's one of the newest enshrinees this fall into the Pima County Sports Hall of Fame, along with a fabulous class that includes the likes of Gil Heredia, and we mentioned Clark Christ and many more. And Corey, one of the things that Corey has obviously established himself with, and he mentioned, was the Tucson Summer Pro League, which was an opportunity initially for guys that were maybe in the college era and to come back and have a run that they could go out and play some hoop during the summertime. But over the course of the last, what is it now, maybe 10 years, it has evolved, Corey, into a youth concept. What year are we in now with the youth-specific program?
I want to say we're in year 8.
8,
possibly.
okay.
I think it's year 8 of the youth league, so maybe 8 or 9. It's somewhere in there. I have to go back and look because we ran them simultaneously for a while. And it was interesting because, the men's league kind of went away because the culture changed.
Yeah.
College and high school guys are more involved in club. Now that college guys are literally worth millions, they're not playing a lot of pickup ball in the summer. So just the overall use of pickup basketball in the summer, it's faded, and a lot of the college guys aren't playing, and that was our big draw. We had the NCAA sanctioning, we had our pro guys and our college guys out there mixing it up, and it was just a wonderful period of time for us as a league. And then things just started to change, and then obviously the kids are playing, and it's been a great transition moving to just the 10 to 13-year-old boys and girls. We have a lot of fun down there, and that's a different type of basketball player, young, optimistic, enthusiastic, a little bit easier to deal with sometimes than our men's league guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than coming out there on the weekends during the summer and seeing those kids getting a chance to go out there and compete. They've got cool uniforms. You've got really good sponsors that have been in this program that have backed what you're doing out there. You've brought in young people from the reservation to work in different areas of operations on those Saturdays and Sundays out there, and you've even incorporated some of the young people into interviews and beginning to show them the media piece about, if you're going to be playing at the next level as you go up, you're going to have to learn how to talk to reporters and TV people and all that. I love, when did you kind of think about, let's start incorporating all these different aspects to not only, help promote ourselves, but to teach young people, what the business of sports is all about?
Well, years ago, we started with the league and we had the internship program, and then, social media exploded. So we had to have a presence on social media. And I was like, you know what? The kids are into social media. Why don't we make like a sports journalism workshop where they can take photos, they can interview the players, they can post the stuff to social media, one, because they're better at it than I'd ever be. And two, I had my hands full just making sure the league was running. So the sports journalism part of our internship program kind of took off, and the kids do they do a great job. And of course, the players that give interviews, it's amazing. They're 10, 11, 12 years old, and they've already mastered coach speak. They know all the slogans and lingo to say during their interviews. So it's great. But more importantly, sports has been so productive to me, whether I've been on the court or off the court. Basketball has impacted my life. And if you love the sport, you can be out there in front of the camera or behind the camera, as you well know, and you can make a good life for yourself. And I've got a lot of friends in the media, and I got a lot of friends who were players, and it's great to see the guys that can cross and cross those lines and do both things. But seeing the kids be active and develop new skills that they didn't know they had, seeing nervous young players who are kind of shy give an interview, seeing interns learn how to record and edit and post stuff online. I mean, we love seeing the young people grow, whether it's basketball or the sports media stuff.
Corey Williams is joining us, Arizona basketball class of 1996. He is the founder of the Tucson Summer Pro League, which started up last weekend, was the first weekend. I always have to ask, if a kid is listening to this and didn't know about it, is there space still available? Can they still come out and play?
We do have some space, just a few spots in our boys 10 and 11, and we have space in our girls division, girls 10 through 13. So unfortunately, our older boys 12 and 13 is completely full, but our boys 10 and 11, we've got about 3 or 4 spots available, and we do have, I'd say, half a dozen, 6 to 8 spots available in our girls league for girls ages 10 to 13.
And you still, although obviously you mentioned the college guys are not necessarily involved in the playing part of it, you still have had a lot of guys that'll come through during the summer. I can remember KJ Lewis and Caleb Love were out through there, I believe, last summer as well. Some of the young guys, Coapete and whatnot, came through. So it's a great opportunity for those young people to get a chance to rub shoulders and maybe see some of those Wildcats before the season gets started.
It really is, and for me, it's we're victims of the transfer portals too. We gotta let Tommy finish building the team before we request some celebrity appearances. We don't even know who our team's going to be next year, so we're just going to wait and see.
Yeah, when you talk about, obviously, you Corey, for those that don't know, Corey also obviously does a lot of analyst work with ESPN through college basketball. So you're seeing this happen, as it's developing with the way that the game is changing, player procurement every year, having, coaches having to rebuild entire rosters. What are you seeing as you talk to coaches from around the nation in preparation for the games you're broadcasting? What are you hearing about how they're doing this every year?
Well, it's the same thing we talk about at ESPN. It's adapt or die. I mean, that's pretty much the attitude. You change or you don't. And a lot of the old school coaches are hanging it up. They're at that age where they're not really comfortable or enthused about buying players. And, if the value system doesn't match up, if we're trying to develop talent and get you a degree and turn you into a fine human being, and all you're concerned about is money, you've got a whole group of coaches who really don't want to be a part of that scene. But the younger coaches are the ones that I feel for, because they came up under the old school coaches and they thought they were going to inherit that same ecosystem. And then all of a sudden it got flipped on its ear, and now it's all about money. So the young coaches learned coaching in an environment that no longer exists, so they have to change on the fly. If they ever want to get to be a 50, 60, 70-year-old coach, they've got to do it the new way. And, it's frustrating because the kids walk in the door already having adapted to the, I'm going to the highest bidder mentality. And the way that you build a team and the way that you build a program, nothing about your team or program is based on the individual. And so it's a very weird space where you're asking these coaches to deliver a quality product, but they're not allowed to really create chemistry and bonds and sacrifice and team work and all the things that make a team great. The portal and NIL really eat away at that. So these coaches' job is just so much more difficult than it ever was. And the fan bases don't really understand or appreciate or respect how hard it is. I mean, we think about the season Arizona had last year. I mean, all those weeks undefeated, #1 ranking, and you got a lot of fans that are going to sit down on their couch next season and expect to see something very similar to what they saw last year, even though it's a completely different roster.
Right.
So, it's really a difficult thing, and I think a lot of coaches have decided to retire, and the young coaches are just trying to adapt.
All right. When we were out at Joseph's unveiling of the Judith Blair courts, Mama Blair courts over at Palo Verde Park, he said no stories. Y'all couldn't tell any stories. I want to hear a story about y'all playing overseas. I want to hear one of these. So can you give us a story about life overseas playing basketball?
So one year, Joseph's team, Joseph was in Italy, I was in Belgium. His Italian team had a game in Belgium. Matter of fact, it was in my own town that I was in. So as the resident homie from college, it was my responsibility to take him and his teammates out that night after the game. Now, I'm going to skip over about 4 hours of activity and tell you that I returned Joseph back to his hotel moments before the bus left that morning for the airport. That's all I can tell you on the radio.
Moments before the bus left. I love it. I'm sure his coach did not love that, but that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Hey, Corey, congratulations. Pima County Sports Hall of Fame. No one is more deserving and has done so much in this community, than you. It's great to have you be a part of this, everything that's happening. And again, follow Corey, College Corey, on Twitter. Watch him when he does his games in the fall and the winter. College basketball on ESPN does a great job with a bevy of different play-by-play men. And of course, get out and support the Summer League. Hey, if people want to support you, how do they do that?
Just reach out to me. My information's on the internet. We're always looking for corporate sponsors, and not to put too fine a point on it, the sponsors are what makes this league affordable.
Right.
We only charge $80 for the entire summer. The kids play 10 games, and they get to keep the uniforms. But that's been my mission. That's been my goal, and I've been very fortunate to partner with great leaders in our community who shoulder probably 80% of the cost of the league so that the kids and the parents and the grandparents can afford to put their kid in a league that goes all summer, for not a lot of money. So reach out to me on email if you're interested in getting involved. We'd love to make the league grow. We'd love to drop the prices even lower, but it really just comes from the great folks in our community.
There we go. Get out to the Gregory School and see these young men and women in our community play some hoop and support that. Corey, always great to talk to you. We'll talk again.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Corey Williams, basketball, Arizona basketball class of 1996. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions reported Avra Valley Road near Airline, east of Airline Road on Avra Valley Road. Also a crash at Houghton and Sarita Road and Houghton. Road work on 5th Street between Country Club and Wilmot. You could use Broadway or Speedway instead. 72 the overnight low, sunny 104 tomorrow and a 101 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
I'm Ruben Cruz. After a car accident, people ask, what is my case worth? It depends on your injuries, the medical care you receive, and the impact on your life. At Cruz & Associates, we build strong cases and fight for full compensation. No fees unless we win. Injured, call Cruz.com.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Biggie Deals. Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie Deals. At $4, $6, and $8, pick one of the new Biggie Deals you're craving. For a pretty biggie deal, gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs, so why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The U.S. Treasury just released its official financial report for 2025. Buried in it is a startling admission. By its own numbers, it appears the U.S. government is insolvent. When governments go this deep in debt, they print money, raise taxes, or cut benefits, none of which can help protect you. That's why people move part of their savings into physical gold and silver. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Arizona drivers know June is the calm before the furnace. Temperatures are rising and the intense summer heat is on its way. It's as certain as the next cracked asphalt road or suspension slaying pothole, just around the corner and coming quickly. But Arizona drivers know that Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the one stop to make sure their car, SUV, light truck, or minivan is road trip ready for this summer's torture test for tires, batteries, brakes, and cooling systems. Just about every part under maximum stress. But mention this ad during June and get Jack Furrier's road trip ready inspection at no charge with the purchase of any oil change. A $30 value for free that gives you the inspection information you need to lower your stress before heading into another summer of extreme Arizona driving. And if you already know you need tires or service, come by to the Locals Choice for the most affordable tires and rock-solid guarantees at 14 award-winning locations. Make an appointment online, call ahead, or just stop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
I feel like I'm getting robbed when I bet the finals on a sportsbook.
Dude, delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans, not the house. That means more money for you and less for greedy sports books.
Even during the finals?
Especially during the finals. You can even trade on whether Trump or Chalamet will attend the games.
No way. What's the catch?
No catch, and it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code LAP for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code LAP for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code LAP.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
Enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
With their backs against the wall, the Spurs responded on the road in Madison Square Garden, beating the Knicks 115-111, and have begun to dig their way out of their 0-2 hole, ending New York's 13-game playoff win streak. For the first time since 1993, the road team has won the first 3 games of the NBA Finals. Game 4 is Wednesday night in New York. The Knicks are 2.5-point favorites. I'm Adam Abdallah.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Caitlin Clark doing Caitlin Clark things.
Sophie's the inbounder with Caitlin, Aaliyah, Lexi, and Kelsey. 4.3 seconds to go. Fever down by 1. Sophie inbounds to Caitlin. Catch and shoot 3. Good with 1.2 seconds left from the left wing.
How do you go for a steal there? How do you go for a steal there when you've got Caitlin Clark, one of the best shooters in the history of women's basketball, and leave her wide open to make, granted, it was it was practically a logo 3. She was so far out. But still, like, if I'm a defender, I'm defending Caitlin Clark. I'm not trying to go for a steal off the inbound there, which is what the Washington Mystics tried to do. And it hurt them last night, allowing Caitlin Clark to do Caitlin Clark things.
When you said that the first time, I was curious where you were going, because 2 days ago she vomited and said after the game she's never vomited as much in her entire life. And that was what Caitlin Clark was known for this week prior to that game-winning shot.
Wow. 78-76, Beaver win. They're only 6-5. Again, we talked about it last week. It's a pretty tight league so far through the first 11 or so games. The Mercury will be back in action tonight. They are on the road at the Valkyries, which is the team from Golden State. That'll be a 7 o'clock start tonight. Golden State, a 7.5-point favorite in that game. And maybe I'll give you a DK special. I've been giving you, I try to give you a DK play when we've got a local team in action. So perhaps, let's see. Would I say Golden State minus 7.5? Do we think? I don't know if they're missing Alyssa Thomas and Ka tonight. Then I don't know if I think I might have to go with the points on that.
Not to mention, it's still very much a point where we're still not sure what this Mercury team really looks like outside of one really good game to open up the season. They recently ended that 7-game losing streak, but considering the larger amount of the sample size has been that 7-game losing streak, trying to bet that the Mercury are going to cover a spread right now, I still need to wait and see what this team's got.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to figure themselves out, so figuring out the betting lines makes it more difficult.
Yeah. She is listed as available. Alyssa Thomas is listed as available to play. Sounds like the college terms there. This is as of about 30 minutes ago, listed as available. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm comfortable, though, taking the Mercury in that 7.5 points.
Valkyrie started out really good, didn't they, this year? They've lost 3 out of the last 4, but prior to that, they were 4-1 to start the year for the expansion franchise.
Kalia Copper is also listed as available tonight. Is that they must? I don't remember those terms, the college terms for last year in the WNBA, but that must be how they're doing it this year. Available versus probable, questionable, or out. So I don't know. All right, let's just do it anyway. We'll take DK special here. Your DK top play. We'll take the Mercury and the 7.5 points tonight on the road against the
According to
Valkyries.
the official terminology, it's out, doubtful, questionable, and probable.
All right. Well, then I don't know why I'm seeing available.
Maybe that's a website thing.
Could be. Could be. If we get any updates on that, we will let you know. I have not looked at the official Mercury page to find out. Let's
not forget with certain websites, they're still naming the stadiums after the actual stadiums rather than the cities' names like they are on certain websites for the Earth Vessel.
For the Earth Vessel games. Yeah, exactly. Which start Thursday for Team Mexico and Friday for the United States. Where are you going to be watching those games? I want to know that. 520-848-1290. 520. I heard Nana's Kitchen is going to be having folks for the Team Mexico games. So that might be a spot that you can go and watch El Tri de Color play during the World Cup run. And I'm sure pretty much everywhere around. And we know, obviously, our friends, because we had a sweet deal for you. In fact, there were a few of those sweet deals left for Reforma. I don't know if they're still left, but I got one. So you might see me out there for one of the Mexico games.
Every Mexico game will have every single bar in Tucson full. But if you want the inside scoop, if you want to go see rowdy soccer fans during the Earth Vessel,
right,
go to any English-style pub.
Do we have
like Froggenfurken, where I worked for 10 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Used to have people lined up outside the door to get in at 3 a.m.
Is Canyon's Crown, is that considered an Irish pub?
Yes.
Over on the east side?
If they serve bangers and mash,
okay.
it's an Irish pub.
Bangers and mash.
I know that on my side of town, definitely the one spot that I'm going to see a lot of traffic going over towards is the Ojos Locos over by Irvington. That is going to be
Ojos Locos. I've not been to Ojos Locos. Is that? I think we may have had a sweet deal for them at one time.
At
Ojos
one point,
Locos.
maybe a couple months back, if my memory serves me correct. Yeah, we probably had one. But if you want to know the best way of thinking about it, it is Mexican Hooters.
Oh.
So I know it's going to be very, very packed.
That's a long way for me to go, but I might have to go check out Ojos Locos. And
if I ever started a punk band, Mexican Hooters, that might be the name. That's a great name for a band, for sure.
So I don't know that did we ever actually make a pick on the game last night? Because what they told us was Knicks on the money line over the Spurs, but we talked about it. I don't know if we actually settled on anything.
I think that we said that the Spurs might win, similar to the other game 2, which was that the Spurs, we're going to have a rough time of it, but probably even if they did win, wouldn't win by more than that number.
All right, so I don't know that we ever made a clear pick on that one, so I'm going to erase that one from our ledger.
Okay.
From last night, but we will give you what we've actually. I think we've got. They didn't give us anything on hockey today, which is kind of disappointing. But I do have one for you on baseball.
Brad Evans here to help you beat the books with Westwood One Sports. On the late night tip in the sack, a certain athletic could burn the midnight oil. Shea Langoliers has smashed lefties this season, posting a .328 batting average and over 1,000 OPS against Milwaukee southpaw Robert Gasser, who has nearly a 5 ERA this year. The A's catcher pops. Give me Langoliers over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI, no matter the juice. Bet smarter, beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
All right, this is now it's now up to over 2.5, and it's not a great bet. It's minus 145. So I'm wondering if we should take Shea Langoliers under 2.5 to get it at positive money at plus 110. I'm not sure why, but all of these, I'm wondering if maybe the Brewers pitcher changed, because all of these lines now, normally they're all 1.5, but right now they're all at 2.5. So that would indicate maybe something's happening there with the starting pitcher for the Brewers tonight. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm comfortable with going Shea Langoliers over 2.5. So we're gonna go with Shea Langoliers under 2.5 runs, hits, RBIs at plus 110. So we'll flip that one today. There.
And be ready for tomorrow when he walks in a bases loaded run. Just getting ready for it.
Where are we on our Julian Champagne? Is he leading?
Champagne.
Is Champagne, sorry.
Like the coin. Yeah.
Champagne. Is he leading the
I don't think he shot great
in 3-point shots made?
I don't think he shot great last night.
No. I think that since that first game, game 3, no one shot well. But
I don't think Dylan Harper made a single 3. I think he was like 0 for 6. But yeah, I mean, Champagne had 5 in the first and 4 in the second, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and then in this game 3, it looks like he had 3 3-pointers in that game total.
Made.
So 5 plus 4 plus 3.
12. 5 plus 4 plus 3, that's 12.
12. Yeah. So he's got 12. I don't think anybody else has that many.
No.
No.
No one should, unless I missed a Landry Shamet going 6 of 7 from beyond the arc.
No, he hasn't shot quite. I mean, he was shooting 45, 50% in the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, but he's cooled off a little bit these last few games.
All right, so I think we're still looking good for that, though, for Julian Champagny making the most three-point shots of any player in the NBA Finals. DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290. Don't forget to head on over to Twitter. Vote in our poll. I'll let you know we got the week-long poll ended on how much money would you pay to see the U.S. men's national soccer team. Since we're talking a little soccer there, I'll give you that on the other side as well. Also, I said yesterday that people always, when I was younger, people would mistake me for Spike Lee. And so I asked, one of the questions I asked yesterday was who is your celebrity doppelganger? This wasn't an official question of the day, but we did get a response on that. I'll tell you that response when we come back. Dragon Ball, tell us all that's happening in sports in Southern Arizona and around the world.
Well, today they officially announced all of the opening day rosters for the AUSL. That's the Professional Softball League. And we want to send out a big congratulations to multiple former Arizona softball players for the announcements that were made today. 7 in total have made the cut.
7?
7 total
Good.
Makes the cut. And that marks 7 after pitcher Jalen Adams was chosen for the Utah Talons. Across the league, we also have Devin Nance with the Carolina Blaze, Sydney Stewart with the Portland Cascade, Grace Jenkins with the OKC Spark, Taylor McQuillan with the Chicago Bandits, and both Deja Mulipola and Alyssa Denham both playing with the Texas Volts. Congratulations, ladies, and best of luck to you this season. Mandatory minicamp underway with the Cardinals, and 2 big names finally appearing after no showing in the organized team activities earlier last month were both Jacoby Brissett and pass rusher Josh Sweat, but both of those are now back in the building. Even with all the focus being on the incumbent starter and Jacoby Brissett just barely arriving on the team, new head coach Mike LaFleur has had high praise for the 3 quarterbacks that have been there prior to Brissett's recent appearance.
Yeah, no, I've really appreciated what those 3 guys have done, through the 10 days. There's been just so much growth from, let's go, phase 1, when we were just out there running routes and we were all trying to get used to each other, running a slant, to phase, or to OTA 10, if you were, minicamp 1 today with 9 other OTAs. So what I've liked is if they've made a mistake, not duplicating that mistake, and all the banked reps. We got a lot of reps over these last 10 weeks.
And again, Brissett and the franchise still having ongoing contract negotiations, according to reports. And despite a lot of discussion about potentially the retirement of Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney, he says he is not going to be leaving anytime soon for the Clemson Tigers as he prepares to enter his 18th season with the program, stating that he is the same age Nick Saban was when he got to Alabama. So I'm just getting going, man. This comes off arguably the most disappointing season of Swinney's career with the Tigers, finishing just 7-6 with the fewest wins for a program since 2010, despite being ranked number 4 in the preseason poll this past season. Swinney again has 2 national titles and 9 ACC championships as the Clemson's head coach. I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do.
Touchdown, Arizona!
With press conferences, coaches shows, and play-by-play, we bring you all the stories, highlights, and analysis of your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Houghton and Sahuarita Road and Houghton, crash reported. We got a roadwork and a closure, 22nd Street closed between Tucson Boulevard and Cherry Belle Stravenue. You could use Broadway or Aviation Parkway instead. 72 the overnight low, sunny, 104 tomorrow, and a 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
The jungle has moved afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from noon till 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Tucson is sizzling in June, but your house doesn't have to. Most HVAC companies talk about trust. Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing puts it in writing. Every repair backed by a 5-year warranty for our Home Wellness Club members. That's not a promise, that's a guarantee. Call us at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at pixrockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
I feel like I'm getting robbed when I bet the finals on a sports book.
Dude, delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans, not the house. That means more money for you and less for greedy sports books.
Even during the finals?
Especially during the finals. You can even trade on whether Trump or Chalamet will attend the games.
No way. What's the catch?
No catch, and it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code LAP for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code LAP for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code LAP.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Tune to DK on the Sports Tip weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at iccu.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hour number 3 of our show on this Tuesday. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us. You can text us. Game number 3 of the NBA Finals. It was the return of the Knicks to New York City. All the pomp, all the circumstance, and Big Wemby and company spoiled the party.
Madison Square Garden, where for the first time in 27 years, a finals game will be played in this iconic arena.
At center at 7-4 from France, number 1, Victor Wembanyama.
Brunson trying to stop Castle. Towns helping out as well. Once again inside Wembanyama, and he throws it down. Brunson spinning, leans in, falling away, shot, banks it home, high off the glass. Wembanyama fakes the three. Castle fires a three, puts it in. Brunson goes right at Cornette, righty shot, he banks it in. How did he do that? Here comes Champagnie. Harper inside, lays it up and in. This kid is phenomenal. 2.5 remaining. Brunson finds Hart. Back to Brunson. Fakes the three, drives inside, sidestep, right-handed shot blocked. Castle got a piece of it. Knocked out of bounds. Towns blocked by Fox. Towns holding on to Wemby. Fox gets into the paint, puts up jumper, got it! De'Aaron Fox with a clutch bucket right there. And it's back to a 5-point game. Timeout with 12.2 remaining. Goes to Anunoby in the corner, fires away, three-pointer, got it! OG Anunoby nails it. It's a 2-point game with 9.4 remaining. Brunson looked like they're going to lob it. Nope. Anunoby, corner three, fires away. Shot's no good. And the Spurs win. What a response from San Antonio. They do it again. An inspiring road win. And they are right back in the series. The Knicks lead cut 2 games to 1.
115 to 111, the final score last night. Spurs avoid going in a 3-0 hole. They win it. Victor Wembanyama, 32 points on 11 of 18. He had 8 rebounds and 6 assists to go along with 3 blocked shots. Stephen Castle, 23 for the Spurs. Knicks led by OG Anunoby. He's their only hope. 28 points for OG. Only 11 for Karl Anthony Towns. And that seems to be the big story.
Did you hear the stat? 0 fourth quarter points in any of these games.
For Karl Anthony Towns.
Yes. So Karl Anthony Towns has not scored a single fourth quarter point in game 1, 2, or 3 of the NBA Finals.
It's because he's mostly been busy putting his hands on Wembanyama, face guarding him throughout
well, it's
most
also
of
like
that fourth quarter.
Part of the game plan is Brunson in the fourth. So part of the game plan is defer, run the motion offense. They run a Princeton offense. They run a very similar flow style that what Coach Lloyd runs. I mean, it's anybody, whoever's open gets the ball and shoots. However, in crunch time, Jalen Brunson gets the ball, Jalen Brunson gets the ball, Jalen Brunson gets the ball. However, but the fact that Karl Anthony Towns doesn't have a single offensive rebound putback at any point in these 3 fourth quarters, that's a bit of a problem for the Knicks.
Yeah, and the other part of it is that the ability of Wembanyama on defense, I think, is something that people need to understand. There's a reason why everyone's describing him as like he will be the next Defensive Player of the Year winner for the next 8 years down the road because of how he plays. The biggest thing about it that I remember seeing, and again, I've seen the blocks of him blocking a jump shooter from the corner 3, and I've seen that before. That's not that shocking. I shouldn't say it's not impressive because it is impressive, but it's not that shocking to see it from him. The block he had on Landry Shamet on a play that more often than not you would describe it as a win for the offensive player when he's driving from the corner of the 3-point shot area, he drives down the baseline, and you then have the defender on your back hip. It's then upon you as the player with the ball to put the amount of English you need to kiss it off the backboard for the up and under layup. Somehow Wembanyama gets around and he blocks it on the opposite side of the glass before it's a goaltend and gets the rebound that follows. Things like that, the footwork, the ability to reach that spot, and just being an absolute menace to whoever it is in the paint just makes it so hard for you to find some way to score down low.
The best defensive highlights of Victor Wembanyama have nothing to do with blocks or steals. There's a series of reels you can go find on any of your preferred social medias or YouTubes or whatever of players straight up driving to their spot. Brunson loves to score in the paint. You know, how about DeMar DeRozan? You know where he scores from? 14 feet it in. Players consistently, David Kelly, driving to their spot, turning around and going right back where they started. There's an element of going in there and saying nope and then leaving the painted area because it's the distance traveled more than anything. Like that Shamet play you're talking about, he's consistently able to cover ground like, you know, a really good cornerback. He really does bait players sometimes into taking shots they expect to be able to get off. But it's not the 7'4" DK. He's got a 9-foot wingspan in addition to that and is agile and is quick on his feet. So, yeah, defensively, he's the reason why the Knicks aren't scoring as many points in the paint as they normally have been during the 13-game winning streak is just go watch the highlights of the Knicks players going in there, turning right back around and going right back out with the ball because they don't even want to attempt a shot.
Just pulling a Grandpa Simpson. Put the hat
exactly.
on the hat rack.
Yep.
See who's there, and then you put it back on. You walk back out the door.
Let's hear after the game from Victor Wembanyama on the plan to go inside and be aggressive early in Game 3 against the Knicks.
Especially early in games, you have to put pressure on the rim because it's the most efficient shots. And then we look for other options. The goal is always to go inside. The best shot in the game is an alley-oop. It's the most efficient shot. But teams don't just let you do that. But I think what we've built with this team is that we've got an identity that makes everybody dangerous. And sometimes it'll pay off. And over a season, over a playoff series, we're going to get easy buckets and inside buckets like I did last night.
I know that you've heard for a couple years now, you have to fail in the playoffs before you can succeed in the playoffs, and what you have been trying to do is so unusual. And I guess part of the equation is, can you learn fast enough during the playoffs that you don't have to fail first, that you can just succeed all the way? So what have you learned in this first run through the finals that you can apply in real time so that you can finish what you've started here?
We will see, but my bet would be yes, it's possible. And what we've learned, many things over these playoffs. Many things. Brace with your hands and not with your chin. Hit below the head if you do. And many other things, but most importantly, be relentless.
There you go. Julian Champagnie, who we've been talking about because we've got a bet with him. But he played his college basketball in the heart of the city at St. John's. And he talked about coming home, playing in the Garden. And then there was, unfortunately, some fisticuffs after the game.
No, there were roving bands of Knicks fans hunting down anybody in a Spurs jersey, ripping it off of them and burning it in front of them.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's not nice.
Fisticuffs.
This was more of a crusade in a certain aspect. At least that's what the Knicks fans would describe it as.
So we'll hear from Julian Champagnie on all of that, playing at home, and then the unfortunate ugliness between the fan bases after the game.
Obviously, we had a game to win, and that was the most important thing, especially being down 0-2. But the initial reaction of just running out there, seeing all the celebrities, the fans, how loud it was, the music, it was definitely a surreal feeling that I'll carry for life. But it was pretty cool.
As someone who grew up in New York, you know how Knicks fans are and how big this run has been for the city and for so many fans around the city. Last night, there were watch parties. There was videos of even violence, rowdiness, some towards people wearing Spurs jerseys. There was even a video of someone kind of following and heckling Mitch and his family when you guys got here. Have you at any point felt any threat or any hostility towards you guys while you've been here? And what hostility? Any people just being? Well, I don't want to curse, but you know what I mean.
Good.
Have you felt that at all while you've been in the city? And then what do you think of just like that types of behavior towards Spurs fans last night?
I don't really feel no threat. I'm from here, so I feel like a lot of this stuff is kind of just like what it is. You get used to it. So I don't know about threat, but I think that obviously we're here to play a basketball game. That's the main thing. For the fans, I don't think that it should ever be that serious where you have to, jump people, beat people up, follow people home, and stuff like that. It's just a basketball game at the end of the day. Whether we win, they win, doesn't really matter. Everybody should be able to come and enjoy the game no matter who they're voting for. So that's just how it goes.
Yeah, well, there you go. So that was Julian Champagnie's thoughts on all of that. We also heard after the game from Karl Anthony Towns on the Knicks side. First, he'll talk about just kind of the slow start the Knicks got off to, and then on the violence that took place after the game.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. We'll have to figure it out because, like you said, in every game we've played here in the finals, we put ourselves in a position where we have to start fighting immediately. And every time, we find a way to get back into the game, but we can't trust that result's going to happen every single time. So, the Spurs have done a great job starting in the game, dictating the pace and dictating how the game's going. We have to try to be the first ones to throw the first punch.
It feels like whenever you guys fall into ruts this season, it stems from lack of ball movement, lack of player movement. Just one, why do you think that is? And two, how do you guys get back into the flow of the ball movement and player movement that's gotten you guys on the winning track?
Yeah, I mean, we got to pick up the ball movement for sure. We have to. And two, just we have, 13 games in a row, 50 days of film to show what it looks like when we're at our best. So, we got good film. We'll get back to our fundamentals, what makes us great, what made us great, and get back to work tomorrow.
Carl, there's been some viral videos online with Spurs and Knicks fans getting into altercations in the streets. What is your message to NBA fans on being passionate about the NBA game, but also keeping respect for one another?
I mean, the game is built off respect and passion. We want everyone to respect each other. We want everyone to enjoy basketball at its purest state. I mean, it's the NBA Finals. There's no better place to watch basketball. So, leave the physicality to everyone on the court.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, this is just a kind of this life that we're in now, where everything is viral. People want to be viral, and fighting gets you viral. And then it's sad that we saw that last night in New York City.
I mean, besides Dodgers Giants, which we've seen quite a lot of extracurriculars in the parking lots, what fan base outside of Philadelphia and New York, DK, have you ever seen after a loss go and publicly jump and attack the other fans? Like OKC had a lot of bad feelings after that Game 7 loss to the Spurs. There was none of that. It's just the repressed need to have a winning team in New York City for 50 years. 49 years since their last title, and being so close and being the Mecca basketball, and all the great guards especially who've come out of New York City. We know how passionate that fan base is. It's like when I was at the 97 celebration on 4th Avenue, a lot of people, turning police cars over, setting fires. None of those people were wearing Arizona jerseys. None of those people were fans. None of those people were there to celebrate the basketball title. They were there because a mob was out in the streets and they had some pent-up anger that they wanted to release. And I would like to think a lot of the people last night who were assaulting Spurs fans in the streets of New York City, there's a lot of videos out there of that, don't represent the Knicks fan base and those Knicks fans who just want to see their team bring a title back to New York City. And if you do see somebody, just like the BYU situation at McHale Center, guys, if you see somebody next to you acting out of line, that represents your fan base, as DK likes to say. Just, hey, buddy.
Bring it back.
It's going to be okay. It's just one game. We'll get him next time.
No, the lone fan base in all of sports that seemingly will just get into a fight, win, lose, good team, bad team, is always and forever will be, whether it's in Oakland, Las Vegas, or Los Angeles, it will be the Raiders. And there are certain Raider fans that'll take pride in that comment. But the fact of the matter is that, these fans, it's aggravation, it's frustration. They were taking it on whatever it was that was the source of their ire at that moment. But it doesn't excuse that. And again, those people, they need to be held in check.
The craziest video to me is there's a mob of 250 plus people following a bus and smashing against the side of the bus that did not, in fact, have the Spurs team in it, because that bus would have had a police escort. People. So just some random tourist bus, likely of a bunch of people from Japan out there to see New York City for the first time, got accosted by 250 plus people in the street that followed them for multiple lights and ran down the street chasing this bus. It was just crazy last night.
520-848-1290. Your thoughts on what you saw on the court in New York last night and off the court in the streets after the game last night. We'll hear from the commissioner because, again, the president was there last night. He said some things about Donald Trump's appearance. We'll let you hear that. Also getting you set for game number 4 in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. I'm not sure. Is that started already, or is that?
That has started.
Okay.
Well, it should have been started at 5 o'clock. So
Have they scored 27 goals?
They have not scored 27 goals yet, but very interesting enough, there's a new man in the pipes for Carolina tonight. They officially confirmed the changeover to Brandon Bussey. He will be the starter for Game 4.
All right, there you go.
Isn't he the one that the winning goal went off of last time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
He Well, he held him down until that point.
Up until that point. Again,
that was off a stick and off of him, and that's not his fault.
As Coach Tortorella would say some 20 years ago, I'm a little tired of the 25% rule, which was seemingly the go-to description for Freddie Anderson up until this point of the final.
All right, we'll hear Brendan more when we come back on Brandon Bussey in between the pipes. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Fort Lowell in First Avenue in Fort Lowell, Oracle in Auto Mall Drive and Oracle, Houghton and Sarita Road. Some backups on Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells. Some busy travel on Speedway east of I-10. 72 the overnight low, sunny 104 tomorrow and 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
Around Tucson, you've probably seen Cruz on the road across our community. Because Cruz isn't just another law firm, we care about this community. And when one of our own is injured in an accident, we can help. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz and Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters. We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The top-ranked golfer in the world just captured her first U.S. Open crown. American superstar Nelly Korda prevailed in Los Angeles by carding a 69 in Sunday's final round to win by just a single stroke. Korda now owns 4 career major titles, including her wire-to-wire victory at April's Chevron Championship. This weekend boiled down to Korda's final putt that nearly rimmed out before dropping, a dramatic dream-come-true moment for the U.S. Open.
I didn't feel my best on the back nine. I had a lot of emotions kind of swirling in my stomach, and I would say it's just like, it's a dream come true. I mean, I've dreamt about this moment since I was a little girl. It's honestly just a dream come true sitting next to this trophy.
The U.S. Open is the second of this year's 5 majors. Next up, the PGA Championship starting June 25th. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amy Lawrence on Westwood One.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Okay, I have to tell you. I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Oh my gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals.
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
You are listening to the home of your University of Arizona Wildcats.
So Quincy Craig had 11 carries in this game. He had 6 of those carries in the second quarter. He had 5 of them in the fourth quarter.
I mean, the running game will be going, and then they'll go right back to passing.
Right.
So it really confuses me, man. You know, I've watched a lot of football. I played a lot of football, but I can't figure it out. And I guess that's probably why it's working for him.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
In this market, you're either a follower or a leader. While followers settle for the average, Cumulus Digital gives leaders the edge, beating industry averages by 25%. Go to cumulusdigital.com, fill out the form, and take the lead.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
It's already 1-0 Carolina. Early, 1 minute and 6 seconds into the game tonight at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, and the Hurricanes have taken the lead.
2-0.
Now, wow. This has just been par for this playoffs. Like 3 goals in the first period. It's just kind of modus operandi. We might see Aiden Hill tonight if Hart keeps this up.
Careful, Dragon Ball. That was really close to play-by-play.
Yeah, really.
Right.
That's against the rules.
I almost broke that rule. No, and see, DK, the thing is that, again, I mentioned that Brandon Bussey was going to get the start here for the Carolina Hurricanes after Freddie Anderson has had a really bad start to this this final. Carter Hart is just 1 loss away from being in the same position as Freddie Anderson, because he has been abysmal in this Stanley Cup final. 4 goals against average per game.
Yeah.
He has not done what he's done throughout a majority of the Stanley Cup playoffs so far. So the fact that he's out there is only because the team has a 2-1 lead in the series itself. If
was
not
he
for that,
named after the trophy?
I probably would say that probably not, but getting close. He would be getting close to it.
All right, let's hear from Rod Brendamore, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, talking about Brandon Bussey and him being ready. Potentially, I think he's still at this point keeping it under cloak and dagger, but him being ready for this opportunity.
Well, there's another guy that I think he's grateful for the moment. You know, every day he's just happy to be here, grateful for any opportunity that he can get, and to be honest, pretty much every time we've given him any type of opportunity, he sees the moment. So that's what he did the other night too. He came in clearly, was solid.
And now on the other side of the coin, you've got John Tortorella, who is back coaching in the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in 22 years. He coached in 2004 when Tampa Bay That's a long time between championship game of. I can't imagine that has to be a record.
No, that will officially, if Torts ends up winning the Stanley Cup this year, it'll be the longest gap between championships, between coaches. The previous one was by Scotty Bowman, which was a 13-year gap.
I mean in any sport. I can't imagine any sport that a guy went 22 years being in coaching in championship games. Or
Apparently, Dick Vermeil is for the NFL.
Really?
19.
Wow.
So he was with the
Eagles
in 81 and the Rams in 2000.
That's right. Yeah. So there you go. So that is a record then. 22 years between championship appearances. Let's hear from John Tortorella on what's different now playing in the Stanley Cup final, coaching in the Stanley Cup Finals to when he coached Tampa Bay back in 2004.
Well, I think that our game has there's so much skill, the speed of it, and I think it's a game full of mistakes. It is. And it comes with youth, how young the league is. Although in this situation, there's a lot of veteran players in this Cup final, but the league itself, it's gone that way. You can see it during the regular season too, that no lead is safe. It comes to coaching too. I think sometimes coaching, how much coaching you're going to do. Sometimes it's a game of mistakes. You have to live with some of those, right? And to pinpoint and give you an exact answer on where our game's gone to, I can't. But I know in this final, during these games here, I have zero answers as far as the lead changes going back and forth. We're trying to play defense. They're trying to play defense. Give the credit to the players as far as some of the plays they've made and just some of the bounces that have gone to each team.
Well, nobody's playing defense. What are we up to? So it was 9-9, 8-20. We had 27 goals, or no? Is that right? 27 goals.
We had 9 in the first,
now?
7 in the second, and I believe it was another 9 goals in the third. So that's 18 plus
25,
another 7. So we're sitting at
27 now.
27
goals.
So yeah, no. But the
6 more.
But the thing about it though, DK, is that it's funny that the Golden Knights actually are playing defense, and that's the worst part about this is that the third period that we saw before the double overtime winner in Game 3, the Golden Knights played the equivalent of ice hockey prevent defense. They had 3 players sitting on a blue line, 2 players on a forecheck to try and get the puck turned over in the middle third of the ice. They played that the entire 20 minutes of the third period up until the point where the Hurricanes tied it. They have played their brand of defense, which was the same brand of defense I saw from John Tortorella when he coached in 2004 with that Tampa Bay Lightning team. That's what made this team such a hard out in the West, is because they play such an old school game that no one's really able to go ahead and stop it because they've never felt that they've had to because it's so out of date. And now, speaking of which, now it's 2-1 Vegas. So we're one more goal closer to that record.
Yeah, I mean, the scoring just keeps coming in this NHL Stanley Cup Finals here. Vegas with a 2-1 lead in the series. Hurricanes with a 2-1 lead in the game as they just got a goal from
Mr. Stone.
Mitchell Stone with 12:21 to go in the first period. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. I do want to, before we move on here, we have a text that's coming. We have texts because people can text the show. You can text the show at 520-848-1290. Our guy, Paul in Phoenix, checks in. We were talking earlier about the situation involving Texas Tech, Brendan Sorsby, and all of that. He says, just trying to bring a little levity to the situation, but thank goodness Texas Tech is not coming to Tucson this year because I hate for that quarterback to suffer from PTGD when he enters Casino del Sol Stadium. PTGD. Now, I wasn't sure exactly what Paul was meaning with that.
Well, G has got to be gambling, and D is probably disorder.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what he said. Post-traumatic gambling disorder.
Yep.
Casino del Sol Stadium. So here's what I thought it was. You want to hear what I thought it was?
Yeah, go for it.
Post-traumatic Gonzalez defense.
Hey, could be that too.
That
A lot of
could
people suffer from
absolutely
that.
be that.
That's what I thought it was.
I think Paul is way too clever for our show.
Agreed. Very much so agreed.
He is. Yeah, I was like, PTGD. I'm thinking of Gonzalez. Because I'm thinking, defense, that kind of thing. That was where I went to the defense before the gambling. So that's where.
Well, I think he's just pointing out Casino del Sol Stadium. He's got a gambling problem. He's going to a stadium named after a casino. Yeah.
Gambling problem, call 1-800-BET or whatever. What's the number?
I wouldn't know. I don't have a gambling problem.
I don't have a gambling problem.
They used to always have to read that. It was like a disclaimer. They had to read it on our back before Westwood One merged. It was BetMGM Network. They always had to read the gambling. You got a gambling problem, call 1-800-BET or whatever that was. So, Paul, appreciate you checking in with that text right there. All right, when we come back, we will get you your speaking of Casino del Sol, we'll get you your Casino del Sol replay. We will also, I mentioned, I want you to hear from the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, who spoke last night about the presence of the President of the United States at the game, what he had to say about that. DK on the Sports Tip, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. And weather together. Collision at Oracle and Auto Mall Drive and Oracle. Some slowdowns for travel on Swan at Grant, little busy Swan and Glen. Backups westbound Speedway, approaching and passing Main Avenue. Stone and Dreckman, a reported vehicle fire and slowing Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells. 72 the overnight low, sunny 104 tomorrow, 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell's Luxe Boxes. Choose the $5, $7, or $9 box. Now with the shredded beef dipping taco. Limited time at participating stores while supplies last. Prices vary. Freezes and specialty drinks not included. Tax extra.
With Bet365 Early Payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Done Right Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, choose a genuine local Tucson company, Done Right Services. With decades of trusted experience and upfront pricing, Done Right Services treats every customer like a valued neighbor. From upgrades to urgent repairs, our licensed professionals deliver quality, care, and craftsmanship you can count on, getting it done right. Call Done Right Services today at 520-369-3966 because you deserve it done right.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215215. That's HIM to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
I feel like I'm getting robbed when I bet the finals on a sports book.
Dude, delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans, not the house. That means more money for you and less for greedy sports books.
Even during the finals?
Especially during the finals. You can even trade on whether Trump or Chalamet will attend the games.
No way. What's the catch?
No catch, and it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code LAP for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code LAP for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code LAP.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
After Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby was granted a temporary injunction that will allow him to play this season of college football, reports are that the Big Ten is discussing a league-wide ban on scheduling Texas Tech in all sports. If this ban does happen, don't be surprised if other conferences follow suit. And Texas Tech takes matters into their own hands and decides to just cut ties with Sorsby. At a certain point, it's just not worth the headache. I'm Adam Abdallah.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them. At Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we have not had any more goals in the hockey game during our most recent intermission. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
Intermission. I know my hockey.
There you go.
2-1 in favor of the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 4. Hurricanes trying to even up the series. 2-2 heading back down to Tobacco Road. All right, I wanted you to hear a little bit of what the commissioner of the NBA had to say last night. Donald Trump was at the game. President Donald J. Trump was at Game 3. He obviously is a big-time New Yorker, grew up in New York, did all his business in New York City, has obviously, for the most part, relocated his life to Florida when he's not being president of the United States in Washington, D.C., but still a big personality within the city, and returned last night to a smattering of a pretty even, I thought, smattering of applause and boos. There were folks that cheered, and there were obviously folks that booed him. But here's what the commissioner had to say about how this whole thing came together. Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA.
I found out because Jim Dolan invited him to the game, and he said yes, and he's welcome to be here. I think that what makes sports so special, especially when there's so much that divides people, is it's something that we have in common, and we should look for those things that we have in common and build off that. And I'll also say about President Trump, you know, I've been with the league for a long time. I ran NBA Entertainment years ago. He did an I Love Kids game spot with us. He was a fixture at NBA at Madison Square Garden. You guys remember, well, all of you, when you played here, not Draymond, but back in the old days, he had courtside seats. He was here all the time. He was at drafts, so he's a genuine Knicks fan. And so, yes, there's some inconvenience to the fans here, but one looking around this arena, it's packed. So people listen, they came early, they got through whatever extra security, which is necessary. So, as I said, I think we should be using sports to create more of a sense of community with people, not less.
We know you're a New Yorker, 55 years. We know you have to be neutral, but how big is this for the city, for the economy of New York? Because Chuck has always said it. When New York is playing well, it does good for the overall scope of basketball.
Well, I'll just begin with New York, to your point, in terms of the economy. Again, I haven't seen anything like it. The World Cup is coming to New York, and big soccer fan too, but all your people are talking about are these finals in town, and you feel it everywhere you go. I said, like, there are watch parties in addition to the watch parties outside. Everyone I know is attending who can't get in the building tonight is attending some sort of party to experience it together. And to your point, it's not just national, but it's global. The Knicks have a huge following everywhere, and so, you know, we hear stories about the ratings in the U.S. who've been great, but what people don't talk about is we're 5% of the world in the United States. People are watching and following this everywhere.
You know, Commish, you just put in the new anti-tanking rules. What's been the general response from the teams with the new rules?
The response has been remarkably positive. I think everybody recognized we had to turn a corner. I mean, again, I just saw Patrick Ewing in the building. So the lottery began with Patrick Ewing, what was that, 40 plus years ago. But it was an issue we knew we had to deal with. I think everyone from ownership, frankly, to players, were saying enough of that. We got to have a league where people are out there and for competing every night, and there can't be an incentive to race to the bottom. And I feel like we fixed that. Draymond, you should speak to it.
All right, that is the commissioner, Adam Silver, after the ball game last night, talking about a number of issues there in terms of the president being there, tanking, the new rules on that, as well as what the Knicks being good does for the entire league. But I thought the point that you want to take out of there was the fact that, hey, we want our game to be about unifying the country and not necessarily dividing. And that's one of the reasons why, again, it wasn't anything the NBA did per se. It was the owner of the New York Knicks inviting the president of the United States, him accepting that invitation, and then the NBA doing their part to make sure that it was smooth for everybody involved that wanted to be inside the arena and obviously that wanted to be able to be there in a timely fashion last night. So I there's a lot of people that did have opinions about Adam Silver. I've always thought he's a pretty stand-up guy. I don't have any issues with him. I've liked the way he's run this league since taking over for David Stern. And so I think he's got the NBA pointed in the right direction, and the ratings have shown that this year. And, you know, a lot of that is because it's the Knicks, the biggest city in the country. But Wemby, I think, is a big part of that. As well. The ratings for the NBA Finals have been much better this year than
also,
they have been.
maybe the quality of basketball has something to do with it.
Yeah. No, and the other part of it, too, though, Silver has been good for basketball, and he's done a lot of things to go and, like, expand the reach of it. Of course, I mean, the global basketball stars are far more prevalent today than they were.
The last 10 years has been dominated by the world.
Yes, exactly. But the thing is that there are certain moments where Silver, I feel, has a little bit of foot and mouth syndrome where he talks about the basketball broadcasting rights and well, we're a highlights based league. It's like
that's a big problem.
I don't want to watch the highlights. I want to watch the game.
That was foot and mouth situation. He said that like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
The thing is that he obviously represents the owners.
As all commissioners
That's
do.
his job. His job is to represent the owners and to obviously make each franchise money. The biggest issues that people have with Commissioner Silver is not addressing the flopping epidemic that we've seen in basketball. You know, they did a little bit with Harden about 10 years ago. They put rules in, but none of them are enforced. All it would take is a couple of technical fouls after the fact, reviewing the tape. Hey, this is a little egregious, and we're going to give you, a after the fact technical foul, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. But the big thing is that he's just picked up where Commissioner Stern left off, which was growing the game globally was the biggest thing Stern did during his second half of his tenure. It was first, let's get Magic and Larry in the spotlight. Let's promote
save
stars.
the association.
No, stars. Let's promote individual stars. It's Magic versus Larry, not Lakers versus Celtics. That was what Stern did initially.
Mm-hmm.
After the fact, it was trying to push into China, trying to push into these different markets that didn't necessarily have any kind of basketball support. And Commissioner Silver has done an amazing job of that. And they're on the cusp, guys, of having NBA Euro League really be a thing. I mean, there are people putting in bids. It's going to happen within the next few months. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, he's done a great job. The quality of the product on the court is due to there being more superstars under the age of 25 right now than there ever have been in my 40-plus years of watching NBA basketball.
In some cases, more than what teams can handle because of salary cap issues.
That's going to be OKC next year or the year after. So, yeah.
All right, quickly, I want to before we get to our Casino del Sol replay, I want you to hear from Torey Lovello, who just spoke before the game tonight. Actually, this game's been going on for a while. I think it's 2 hours in. Now, the Diamondbacks opening up a road trip in Miami against the Miami Marlins, and they are losing 6-2. But Torey, before the game today, addressed the Ketel Marte situation. There's been a lot of talk about the organization, people within the organization not happy with Ketel Marte, taking days off and that kind of thing. Like I said yesterday, he's played in 61 of 65 games. I don't know what more you want from the guy, but Torey felt the need to address it. Let's quickly hear from Torey Lovello prior to today's game.
Narrative is slipping out from underneath us a little bit. And before it goes any further, I just want to address the Ketel Marte situation. I can wholeheartedly tell you that Ketel has been an unbelievable player for the Arizona Diamondbacks for a long period of time. There are days off that are needed. They're fairly scripted, and we ask for his input. When the athlete gives his input, we're going to listen. But there's this underlying theme that he's not a good teammate, and it's pulling at the fabric of the clubhouse chemistry, which is not true at all. That's something that I take pride in paying attention to, and I want to allow the players to be themselves, the best version of themselves. But this team is hungry. They're very directed, and they know how to handle that type of information. What I ask that stops is that theme that something is wrong in our clubhouse or something is not right in our clubhouse because of Ketel Marte. That couldn't be further from the truth. He's been a great teammate, a great human being, a great husband, a great father, and he happens to be one of the best players in the National League. And that's what I'm focused on. He's going to help us win baseball games. He's going to help us get to where we got to get to. It's just one of those things where it's spinning away from us, and I want to make sure that I address it and defend the player because I believe in the player and I know the player and I know where his heart is, and it's about being a good teammate and winning baseball games.
Diamondbacks download baseball talk.
All right, that was Torey Lovello before tonight's game down in Miami. I'm glad he did that because, again, there was a lot of speculation, a lot of people writing stories over the weekend because he did not play in that game last week against Shohei Ohtani. But again, like I said, he's played in 61 of 65 games this year, on pace to play in 153. And for me, if you're an everyday player in the major leagues, I think you got to play at least 150 games. 150 to 154 is kind of always been my benchmark, and I think that's where he's going to end up, barring something real serious that happens along the road. All right, let's get you your Casino del Sol replay before we get out of here.
The Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, Nathan Geese from the Lubbock Avalanche Journal joined us. He's the beat writer for Texas Tech. Brendan Sorsby has been a hot topic of conversation. A judge in Texas said he can play college football this year after the NCAA said, I asked Nathan where this whole thing is going to end. What's the end game with this story?
The most logical end to all this is that the NCAA wins on appeal and it just kind of drops after that. But there is that possibility. Again, we had to keep this in mind because we didn't think he would even get this injunction to begin with. So there is that possibility that the NCAA loses the appeal and then he is there. But I do think there is enough pressure to kind of being applied by everybody else that Tech would have to make a decision one way or the other where they can say, okay, we're not throwing Sorsby to the curb, but if we play him, the impact of that is going to be felt not just on this football team, but the football program, the basketball program, everybody. because it is such a line in the sand for so many people that even we can talk about the hypocrisy of that line in the sand, but there is a line in the sand there that if you step over that, you're whitewashed. You're blacklisted. They don't want anything to do with you, and I don't think you can take that gamble. I just don't think you can, because especially with the reason Tech is in this position now, because they want to be part of that eventual Super League. But if you're completely blacklisted from the people that are going to create that Super League,
right,
that's not going to work in your favor.
Today's Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, thanks to Nathan Geese for joining us on the show. Thanks to Corey Williams as well, Arizona basketball forward 1996. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. More DK on the sports tip. For Dragon Ball, for JW Madden, for cricket, my name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great evening, everybody. There's another goal. 3-1 now, Carolina. 4 goals in the first period. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. Collisions that are reported Alvernon and Ajo, Ahoway and Alvernon. Crash at Broadway in Tucson, Tucson Boulevard and Broadway. And slowdowns for traffic on Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells and busy travel on Speedway east side of I-10. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Red Wing Shoes and Boots, purpose-built footwear for work done right the first time. Come visit our Oracle and Auto Mall and Broadway and Alvernon locations. Ask about the ultimate fit experience. Red Wing, get the right boot right here, as tough as the people who wear them.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Is your air conditioner ready for the hot Arizona heat? Better call Right Way for a 42-point AC Super Tune-Up. We'll remove years of dirt and grime from your AC unit for only $65. If your AC leaks refrigerant every year, we'll even include a free refrigerant leak check, all for only $65. With a 4.9-star rating on over 12,600 Google reviews, you can have the assurance that you will be receiving our award-winning service every time. Call Right Way at 520-640-2665 or visit rightwayac.com today. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
So, what is it that scares you the most?
The blue trucks from Essential Pest Control, Doctor. They leave bugs belly up.
I use one of those national companies.
Thanks, Doc. Those guys don't scare me.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Buy local and stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. That's 866-3029. Or visit essentialpest.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Arizona is where we live and work. Unlike many other law firms, Arizona is our home. They call us the Eagle because with every 5-star review, our reputation soars, and we've got thousands. You also won't see our lawyers on billboards because they're busy representing Arizona clients. We're Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm. Call today at 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand.
Nobody
when you're
covers
behind
your
the wheel.
cats
Distracted.
like we do. We are the home of your Arizona Wildcats. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
The day shuts down. The games light up.
I'm sticking to it. I said Knicks in 6 before the series. It's still Knicks in 6. They will win tomorrow. Maybe San Antonio gets another game. Maybe they give you the backs against the wall. Game 5 performance at home. They ain't seeing a Game 7. This series is still over. This series is toast. It was toast the minute the Knicks won 2 games on the road.
This is BetMGM Tonight with Pat Boyle on Westwood One Sports.
Spanking that ass left and right. Hey, welcome on back to BetMGM Tonight here on Westwood One Sports. We bid adieu to Brad Evans, and that means we've got 2 solo hours coming your way here, as we do every Monday through Friday until 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm Pat Boyle, and we are brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Download the app today. Please gamble responsibly. You can watch the show live on YouTube. Just search BetMGM Tonight and hit that subscribe button. You can watch the show live on Twitter at BetMGM Tonight, and you can listen to the program on the Westwood One Sports app, the Odyssey app, SiriusXM, Channel 375, and hundreds of local throughout North America. Before we get to our guest line, we've got this from our friends at BetMGM. BetMGM players will receive an NBA Finals odds boost token. To use the token, add a wager made up of NBA playoffs bets to your bet slip and activate the token. If you win your wager that was made with the token, you will receive extra winnings and unrestricted bonus dollars. All right, the Knicks are up 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Last night, didn't for sure. You heard the great open produced there by producer Brandon Combs. That was awesome. And so we're going to talk some NBA Finals, but a guy that is one of the biggest diehard baseball fans